And welcome in live from Seattle, Washington. It's the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Championship 2024 qualifier. Jordan Kent alongside our two analysts here, EE and Charles. Gentlemen, we are well fed, fueled up, and ready to go here. We've got the Southeast and the Southwest taking place. The top four in both of those are looking for a champion in each one. But EE, let's start with you. How excited are you for this tournament where already we've seen a lot of different characters chosen?
I'm very excited for it, and you hit the nail on the head right there. A lot of different characters. I love character diversity. I feel like anytime we're working with Nintendo, that tends to be the theme of what we are blessed with. And somebody who gets to commentate a lot of tournaments, I have no problem with more characters. It just creates more opportunities for more great moments.
Yeah, and Charles, it speaks volumes just to the depth, once again, of this game. The meta has changed so much throughout the past 6 years, but here we are. As always, there's always a character for a fighter, no matter who you are.
Oh, yeah, and I think that's the best part about Ultimate. Almost 90 characters to pick from, and I've played a lot of different fighting games. Not many have the close enough to even pair to the roster that Smash Bros. Ultimate has. I mean, we got quite the lineup today in this top four as well. We got Bowser Jr., me, swordfighter, and of course Incineroar and Luigi. So a lot of really hard-hitting characters, combo characters that are so exciting to watch, Jordan.
All right, let's go ahead and check out the bracket for the Southeast. That'll be the first region we'll be taking a closer look at today. And you see some of our fighters, Zap, DT Foe, Cyan Can, and Cool Cactus. And EE, Zap is someone that registers on your radar.
Oh, yeah, he registers on my radar because he's always in my mentions, okay? This guy's always posting some sort of amazing highlight on Twitter and wants everybody to see it, and I don't blame him. He's a Bowser Jr. player. I think he's the best in the business with that character. Great to see him be able to make an appearance in this tournament.
The exclusive company of the mentions of EE. It's a very, very restrictive club. And, of course, we look at Cyan Can, Cool Cactus here, Charles, and their character diversity. You mentioned me, swordfighter, for Cool Cactus.
Yeah, a very interesting character. In terms of offline tournaments, you don't really see the character too much, but there has been other top players that have been dabbling into this character. Obviously, the Miis are so diverse because you really can customize their special moveset. So I'm really looking forward, Jordan, to seeing what kind of special moveset this player is bringing to the table today.
It will be double elimination. We'll work our way through the winner's side of the bracket. Don't forget the championships, the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Championship 2024, taking place August 25th. So a lot of excitement there as we make our way closer to that date. Well, as we get set for our first match here, EE, you go back to the current state of meta. Both of you continue to cast high-level Smash, and it just seems like there are always new ways and evolutions that players are finding within this game.
I'll tell you the truth, Jordan. I mean, with a game like this, I mean, Charles said it, there's almost 90 characters here. It's all about optimization of your character. You don't necessarily have to follow a tier list when you understand your character at a high level. It's all about knowing the matchups, right? You know enough matchups is going to take you far. And the good thing about that is, too, with some of those unconventional characters that we're going to demonstrate in this bracket, it can catch a lot of people off guard and create some slick wins that you didn't see coming.
And Charles, I'm always interested. You've got your main, and there are matchup strengths, though. Within this roster, there are certainly matchups when you see them get set to take place, you're wondering, maybe I have an advantage, maybe I don't. That's where the fun comes in. Sometimes you stick with that main, sometimes you have a backup.
Oh, yeah, and having that backup character is always nice. And it can be as simple as, you know what, I want a sword for this matchup. I want to get up and close and personal in this matchup. So having a diverse character pool can be so strong. But one thing we've noticed in the current meta is a lot of players that just stick it out with one character and just get really, really good with that one character and even tough it out through the bad matchups have a ton of success. And I think a lot of these players that have brought some of these unconventional characters to this tournament is going to show us exactly that, Jordan.
Now, I have a pretty elementary question for both of you here. What is it that separates a great Smash player from a good one? Is there something consistent you've seen throughout the years that really stands out at this high level?
Absolutely. For me, I think it really comes down to recovery. Like, there are so many situations where I'll watch games, it's just like, you're at a pretty minor percentage, but you just can't quite recover because somebody's that aggressive or that calculated. The great ones know how to survive. They know how to get back to the stage and give themselves those second chance opportunities that can lead to W's.
Charles, anything else on that?
I'm going to have to agree with EE.
Oh,
I think
you
it's
guys, so harmonious
phenomenal.
already.
We were
I love
roommates.
it.
We were
I
roommates.
love it. Okay.
Phenomenal defense in general, right? Recovery, just getting back to the stage in general. And there's so many times where different players will get these huge upsets by clutching out a win, by getting the opponent at really low percents and getting them off stage and getting a very early stock at early percents, and that's the kind of things you need to avoid. It's all about consistency, and defense will bring out the consistency in a lot of these top players.
It also feels like EE movement and just understanding how to navigate your character and how to really find that proper spacing, because everybody wants to operate at a different distance.
Of course.
How do you find yourself in that opportunity as much as you can? We'll get to that here soon, because we're getting ready to roll here. Our first matchup, Bowser Jr. from Zap and Incineroar DT Foe, as we get set to go, of course, on Town and City.
Well, this is Smashville. This is Smashville. Very similar layout, though, Jordan, and I get that confused myself, too, just because I happen to love both of those stages. Now, here is something you're going to notice about these characters right off the start, okay? Zap is going to be the aggressor. This guy is a human highlight machine at times. We've gotten an opportunity to see DT Foe in the past. Of course, we know he does a fantastic job, but Zap, he's kind of brings some of that new school flash to the meta, which I really appreciate.
Early on, both fighters pretty much at equal ground, and you're just trying to figure out how do you get the advantage here, Charles.
Yeah, the big thing to watch out for is Incineroar. The revenge is ready to go here, and yes, definitely wants to give Bowser Jr. a big old hug. That can be so devastating, but so can the back air coming out from Zap to go ahead and close out that first stock.
As you said, Zap takes out the first stock, all of a sudden finds themselves in disadvantage. DT Foe trying to answer back here real quickly.
Yeah, no doubt about this, and this is one of those opportunities where you get to see, okay, can I make it back? Now, unfortunately, right there, Bowser Jr. just not having the distance to make it back off coming from that clown car, but that's okay, because again, this is those low percents you can see Bowser Jr. operate very well with, because he's so combo heavy. Incineroar does have an opportunity to eat up a lot of that damage, especially with revenge being a tool as well, but Zap, he plays like he's just completely fearless.
And Charles, DT Foe able to come right back in, take that quick stock, had it tied up for a moment, but now we're starting to see Zap take a little bit more of the momentum here.
Yeah, Zap's just being really consistent on these tech chases, covering multiple options here, trying to launch into the air, bring the hammer down here. Okay, gets the spot dodge check here. DT really trying to get some kind of damage, but the spin out from Zap, what a way to catch that landing. And
this is what's interesting here. You want to play as a grappler with Incineroar, but you've got some extended hitboxes if you are Bowser Jr.
Yeah, that's the thing that really allows Zap to operate his offense the way he wants, right? He gets to determine when he's coming in and kind of almost at a distance. You even saw the saving the clown car dash for that KO in the last previous stock. Really good option, catching DT Foe off guard and really just continuing to hammer on this percentage. Looking pretty dire right now.
And Zap didn't drop a set in the latter round on their way here as well, too. So now DT Foe up against the ropes. Zap with that 2-1 stock lead, Charles.
Bringing out the rubber hammer as well on the grab. Always think it's a very funny pummel in the game here, but Zap still up an entire stock here in the back air. Really bad position for DT Foe, and that recovery is not the greatest. It's getting blown up by that forward smash.
Well, it was a Zap. It was that quick for sure. The win, first game going to Zap, takes the advantage. And so we're seeing that already with Bowser Jr. We've talked about just a little bit more of a speed advantage over Incineroar, and really felt the difference there.
He has a lot of really good moves, but the problem is sometimes they're slow. And the way Incineroar operates, when you have a character with the rushdown ability that Bowser Jr. presents and somebody who's as efficient as Zap, it can be a very long set for you.
And that's the one thing that you have to keep in mind, that you're going to maybe try and come out and be the aggressor here, Charles, but it can be a long match sometimes, and your opponent's going to be able to quickly read on the way that you want to play.
Yeah, exactly. And just because Incineroar, hits very hard, has crazy combos, but it's just so hard for the character to thrive against some of these more mobile characters, right? And that clown cart really giving Bowser Jr. so much mobility over Incineroar. We'll see if DT Foe can find some kind of answer here.
And that would be my question, Charles. What is the adjustment for DT Foe here?
Yeah, sometimes you just got to play it a little bit slower, just got to walk, shield, and kind of slow roll your way into your opponent's zone, right? And we'll see if DT Foe can do exactly that, because there's only so much stage your opponent can run around on, right?
And now you've got some platforms to work with here, a little bit more options as well too, EE. That might bode well for, who do you think in this situation?
I think it's going to help Incineroar a lot, because it gives you a few more landing options, right? You're coming off the recovery, off that cross chop. Sometimes it's very easy to snipe right there, and you see it just dropping down with the nair. It's really clean cut. It doesn't present a lot of options, but when you have to recover at that angle, the platforms are kind of rendered null and void.
Zap, as we said, took the first set and now has a chance to go up 2-0, has the 3-2 stock lead, and already piling up the damage here, Charles.
Yeah, and finally going to utilize the armor there, and that is going to be an early stock here coming in for Incineroar. And this is a great counter pick as well, just because those side blast zones are much smaller on Town and City, and Incineroar definitely loves to get those KOs horizontally.
And this is an opportunity for DT Foe to get back into this game, but what we're seeing here, EE has to get back on the stage, and just like that, 2-1 zap.
Well, the problem is he gets back on the stage and disaster just happens to follow, you know what I mean? Like, Incineroar is so good when you're able to get a revenge off and, of course, accompany it with an Alolan Whip. That is a 1-2 punch that often can fail a lot of different characters. No tech right there from Zap. Going to create a huge opening for DT Foe.
And here we are, 1-1, just a 9% difference, Charles, and this is where DT Foe, this is a huge opportunity to get yourself right back into this set.
Yeah, but this up air string, oh my goodness, going all the way up. Coming in for Zap, a lot of damage here. We'll see if DT Foe can continue some of these edge guards with that neutral air. The neutral air coming out from Incineroar hits very low and underneath Incineroar. Very good for the offstage game here. And we even saw it a couple times in game 1 as well.
And now Zap has got DT Foe where they want them. DT Foe able to get back on stage, and Zap able to land somewhat safely, but then DT Foe taking some damage, EE.
Yeah, that Mecha Koopa is definitely something you always have to keep an eye on. Can oftentimes aid in setups to get those KOs that Bowser Jr. is always fishing for, especially with that back air, always looming as well. Can't leave yourself open, but this positioning really favoring DT Foe, but this is a position where Incineroar as well can maybe sneak in a KO. It is far from over.
Zap able to connect with so many of those aerials in the middle of the stage, sending DT Foe flying, and one more time, yes, Zap picks it up 2-0. An impressive display of patience, especially in that final stock.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, you saw Zap playing it extremely safe because DT Foe, especially any Incineroar, back on the stage with all that rage. I mean, such a powerhouse you just have to respect, right? So Zap using a lot of those disjoints, keeping the distance from Incineroar, and landing finally that safe backer at the end.
And that's one of those situations we've talked about matchups, and that's a tough one for Incineroar because you're trying to approach Bowser Jr., has so many options to create a little bit of spacing, but has the speed to get up close into your face.
You wouldn't believe the amount of people who have a mock tier list of what ifs if Incineroar was just a little bit faster. The only thing that sometimes holds this cat
if it was
back
a little bit taller.
you know, if that's the case, I'd be playing hoops along with you. You know what I'm saying? Just the what ifs. But you gotta work with what you got. And I think DT Foe did a fantastic job in that fashion. I just think he got a little outclassed character-wise.
All right, let's take a look at the bracket after that first matchup between Zap and DT Foe. Zap making quick work of it, will advance to winner's final. That means that brings up Cyan Can and Cool Cactus up next, which means, Charles, we'll get the typical Luigi and me sword fighter matchup that we see tournament after tournament, especially in top 8.
Of course. The me sword fighter coming in, obviously just kind of joking around. Not the craziest common pick for a lot of these offline tournaments, and I mean we do have a top player in Japan, Mia, that actually picked up this character recently, so kind of turning a lot of heads because one of the best players in the world putting their attention to sword fighter. So we'll see if this character actually has some secret sauce. There's a bunch of different special moves that sword fighter can utilize. Sword fighter is a unique fighter because you do have the sword, you want to keep that mid-range distant, but sword fighter also has a bunch of long-range special moves available to them as well. So we'll see if we're going to see any of that come into play.
And EE, that's what's fascinating about these Mii characters is you can customize their build as well to your play style. So it's almost one more layer underneath that matchup that you're trying to figure out.
That's what can really make it tricky at times. But I think, you know, it's interesting. The game has been out for so long. I think a lot of people kind of have their go-to set. You know what I'm saying? It's not too often that you see any kind of Mii, like come out with a set that's going to be uncommon because it might not be as effective, right? You got to play to the meta, play to your character's best tools. So you tend to go for those one-for-ones that you know are going to be effective. And at the most important point, Jordan, consistent.
And Charles, you said Luigi. That means we might have some quick matches as well, potentially.
Yes, this plumber hits
knows.
very, very hard. Luigi, one of the craziest characters in the game when it comes to the combo game, right? Even on launch, had a very easy to execute 0 into the KO combo, right? Definitely had a little bit of modifications, got a little bit of patches, but still when Luigi especially gets that grab, can be a little hard to get because it's a tether grab, right? Has the distance a little bit slower, but very rewarding on the side of Luigi.
And this will be interesting, EE, because Sword Fighter has some tools to be a little bit of a zoner at times, but now you're dealing against Luigi that is a grappler. Really wants to make this thing up close and personal. How do you find that balance between the two?
Well, the thing that really works for Luigi is obviously you're going to be looking for those, 0 to KOs, like really, really low percent. But Luigi doesn't have to rely on that. Luigi's just a good character overall. So if you get into a situation where you're at those higher percents, watch out for that back air. Watch out for that down throw into Cyclone. There are a multitude of ways that Luigi can follow up and get that KO.
Cyan can against Cool Cactus. As we said, me, Swordfighter, and fitting Cool Cactus has the cowboy hat to get things rolling here. But early thoughts as we try to figure out what this build is going to look like, Charles. Both fighters just trying to get a feel early on here.
Okay, we already see the chakram coming out right there, those rings. That's probably the most common. Most sword fighters utilizing that chakram. Very good. You can set it up in a slow way, so it just controls a bunch of area, or you can shoot out as a really fast projectile.
And Cyan gets the tether grab, leads into a short little combo. Cool Cactus gets back up on stage, the down throw, followed by the aerial and a nice little 1-2 punch, EE.
Yeah, you know what? This is something that I might have overlooked is the fact that, the me here, Cool Cactus, is definitely going to be able to kind of throw it back at him too as far as that combo game goes as well. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Unfamiliarity in a matchup could do you in. There's a bunch of Luigis running around. You're not too surprised about what this guy's doing. But a me sword fighter, that can be a character that'll make you think twice.
Yeah, it really does. But following it up right there, you see the power that can be packed in Luigi.
Yeah, and one of the main things that Swordfighter has as well, not a lot of characters can contest Luigi recovering really low, but Swordfighter, that down air is designed in a way where most characters will fall out of the down air, so the final hit doesn't connect, and you'll just sink downward. So we saw Swordfighter get the first stock like that. We might see some more coming up. Really
astute observation, and so far hanging on at 111 on their first stock. We've seen an impressive showing here from Cool Cactus, racking up the damage, trying to build that advantage against Cyan. As Luigi falls off the stage one more time, trying to recover, gets to the edge. But right now it feels like Cool Cactus dominating this matchup, EE.
Oh, he absolutely is. I mean, you notice he's controlling the entire tempo of how this is going down. And yet again, we see that down air be a key component to how we are going to get these KOs and enable these leads to stay intact. I'm not sure Cyan is just, I don't think he has any familiarity with this character right now. And you would think, too, it's pretty commonality that Luigi kind of likes FD a lot. I would not say that's the case right now as we see what's unfolding.
So far, Cool Cactus hanging on with that first stock. At this point now, trying to go toe-to-toe in the middle of the stage, is building up some extra credit here, Charles.
Oh, yeah, for sure, and especially with all this chip damage. And usually Luigi can struggle against sword characters, Swordfighter not having the longest sword in Super Smash Bros., but you also have the accompany of all these different projectile options as well. I love that diving down right into the ledge here, and still at 177%, finally, the down smash will close out that first stock.
2-1 advantage for Cool Cactus.
Uh-oh.
In the driver's seat, but that down throw almost followed up by here. EE, you get the sense that Cyan's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable in this matchup.
Yeah, one of those combos from Luigi that can lead to a quick KO is exactly what I'm sure he's going to be hunting for. One thing to keep in mind, too, though, as his percentage rises, the guarantees for certain things aren't as assured because that rage that accompanies Luigi at those percentages as well. So it's really just an uphill battle, and I'm not sure it's doable, but I like the fight nonetheless. Cool Cactus might be in danger, and he is. Okay, Cyan, bring yourself back in this contest.
All right, one stock each. However, huge health advantage right now. Cyan sitting at 100, but we've seen how quickly, Charles, Cyan can rack up the damage. Has to get back on the stage, though.
Oh, man, and Luigi still holding on to the double jump. That's going to be the key thing to look for these edge guards here. And one stock apiece, it doesn't matter what the percentages are. If Luigi's on the screen, it's an even game.
Tried to go with the fireball into the tether, just a little too far out this time. Oh, and here comes the KO. And, well, like that, like the tag says, that is Cool Cactus closing things out. But it ended up being much closer than what it looked like originally, EE.
I love that KO that Cool Cactus got there. I call that the stop-and-go combo. I stop, you go. Because he dashed a little bit, stopped, waited for him to react, and then boom, smash attack to send him into the blast zone. Beautifully done to get that final KO. And kind of put him on notice like, hey, you know, unconventional, but I think you should get used to me because I'm not going anywhere.
Well, as far as getting used to things, Charles, it did seem like that Cyan started to figure out the play style of me Sword Fighter about a stock and a half into that, and you saw the momentum swing a little bit. It was just too little, too late.
Yeah, and I think a big thing that Cyan had to notice is just using that plunger, that zair that we like to call it. When you use your grab and you have a tether grab in the air, it's called a zair. And then you kind of have this pressure with the plunger, but when it's going up against a sword move, it kind of just clanks out, right? So Luigi's main mid-range tool is going to be that zair, but you know, maybe Cyan just can't really rely on that as much throughout this set.
You like how realistic Smash is. A plumber's plumber. Plunger cannot go up against a sword here. So clear common sense right there. Well, as we get set, any adjustments that you see Luigi needs to make here as they get set for the second set?
You know what? The thing that really well, wow, we're not even going to see the Luigi.
No,
we're see
Dr. Mario.
So I guess this is the adjustment, right? Consider another character. You know, character specialists are not above selecting other options if a matchup seems a little bit too unwinnable. That one right there obviously was not, but you know, when you're in a best-of-3 situation, you really can't afford to think twice. You got to go with your gut, and he decided to go with Dr. Mario.
And why do you think the Dr. Mario switch here, Charles?
One thing is, instead of utilizing that Luigi Zera, we're going to see some of the neutral bees coming out from Dr. Mario, right? That pill is going to be a great mid-range tool. Also, Dr. Mario just going to have a little bit more mobility just getting in. Luigi doesn't have the best traction, which is why Luigi can struggle versus some of these sword characters. You're knocking on that shield, you're sliding away, and you're not really closing the distance here. Dr. Mario still packs a punch, though. That down B going to end that first stock.
A prescription for pain coming from Dr. Mario takes the first stock, and already we're seeing the difference. You compare that EE, we're starting to get a better feel for how Swordfighter plays, and you've got to feel pretty confident if you're Saiyan.
Oh, absolutely. You know, notice another thing I think is huge, too. You've introduced a tri-plat to the mix, right? In that first encounter, it was all FD. FD notorious for no platforms, obviously. You put a smaller stage like this, you add some tri-plats, and it's going to allow Dr. Mario even more mobility to his toolkit, which is really helping him play around anything Cool Cactus is trying to do, which at the moment is bring this match back.
And Charles also changes the recovery angle, I'm sure, for Saiyan.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Having those platforms is going to be way different from FD. Whenever you have platforms, recovering high is going to have a little bit more options because you have a little bit more landing zones to go to.
Right now, 141 to 81. Cool Cactus able to pick off a stock from Saiyan, but that's a nice advantage so far here as both players down to stock number 2 at this moment, and already we're seeing a little bit more power as Saiyan, my goodness, takes a 2-1 lead without a lick of damage here.
Yeah, Saiyan is playing with so much confidence too. Like, he is not at all avoiding going into the fray. That's what you need, right? You kind of get overwhelmed in the first match. You start to make it a little bit close down the stretch, but you've already trailed enough where it's not really going to make a difference. This time, I call this a statement game, letting them know we are going the distance and where I'm not giving you too much to say in it.
Both players going back and forth in neutral at this point, trying to get the advantage, either one of them. Cool Cactus at this moment, down a stock, trying to regain some momentum. Down throw, followed by the aerial. That'll create a little bit more breathing room here, Charles.
Yeah, but still, Saiyan doing a really great job in that forward air. Almost going to do the trick here, throwing in a little taunt into the spinaroo. And just like that, we got a set here, 1-1.
Those tables turned quickly, EE. All of a sudden, the counterpick to Dr. Mario was exactly what they were looking for, as now Saiyan's got to feel pretty confident. You wonder if you're going to see anything different from Cool Cactus, because they did not look comfortable at all throughout that entire game.
Yeah, and you know, you kind of look at the trajectory and how Cool Cactus got to this point. It's been all about the Mii Swordsman, right? So I don't really know if there's going to be a backup plan for that. If I'm Cool Cactus, I'm thinking, okay, let me take a breath, let me reset, go to a stage. I'm going to be comfortable. Because when you win that first game, you have that counterpick advantage for the stage. That's a huge deal to keep in mind. So you just got to go to a stage. And honestly, you need a better start. You got overwhelmed within like the first 30 seconds of game number 2. We all knew it was going downhill right there. You said a prescription for pain delivered.
Well, it's that second stock where they weren't able to register any damage whatsoever on Saiyan, and that really extended the lead. And now if you're Saiyan, you can feel a little bit more comfortable as you get down to that final stock. But now we see Marth. Whoa!
Where'd this come
Marth
from?
coming out. All right. We know they like sorties, but here we go. Marth, get your tippers ready.
This is so intriguing to me because we are touching on the fact that we know that the plumbers sometimes they can struggle a little bit with sword characters, and you know, Mii Swordsman, a swordie in name only in some extent. This right here, a traditional true swordsman, been through multiple titles in the game, has enjoyed a lot of success from a lot of players. Marth could be the answer Cool Cactus is searching for.
And you're definitely going to have that out-of-shield game as well with Marth. That up-B out-of-shield is going to be really quick and snappy here. Going to be able to deal with a lot of the pressure from Dr. Mario. And the stage pick is huge here because now we're on Hollow Bash and a lot more room to work with.
And that's really the key as we see. It felt like Cool Cactus was just a little too cramped on Yoshi's story on that last matchup, but now has the room to roll around and use that mobility advantage and a little bit more speed with Marth also.
Oh, 100%, Jordan. And that middle platform is going to benefit Marth greatly. I'm telling you, that's something that's really going to kind of limit the options of Saiyan. Right now playing around it pretty well, but I'm thinking if Cool Cactus can get this first KO, that could be the difference maker.
Pretty even. That back air was the slight difference. Now Saiyan at over 100%. Cool Cactus just a tick under, and all of a sudden Cool Cactus goes flying north, and that's the first stock of this one here, Charles.
Yeah, that up smash, very iconic for all three of the plumbers. They swing that noggin. It is a very good move, covers a lot of space, and can be so good in these scramble situations, can catch these panic jumps. Cyan knowing exactly that, getting the same lead they got on game 2.
Hopefully for Cyan, trying to make Cool Cactus the final patient of the day so far. Trying to pursue. You see that pill coming out of shield option. How about Cool Cactus cleaning it up?
Yeah, got to be careful when you're pressuring a shield at that kind of percent against somebody like Marth. That is one of the best out of shield options for getting a KO that anybody has in the game. It really could be the opener that's letting him get back into it. I love this scrap fest that we're seeing. Nobody really getting overwhelmed. Just some back and forth tit for tat hits that are really making this a compelling game number 3. I'm loving it.
And Charles, finally somebody gets a little bit of stage control, but getting right back on the stage, and now putting Dr. Mario in disadvantage was Cool Cactus, but then spiked down to earth.
I love the idea of the counter, but when it whipped, I knew that the regrab was going to be costly. That's a guaranteed hit, and you already know Cyan was not going to let that one go unchecked.
A risky move that does not pay off for Cool Cactus, and now Cyan got a 1-stock lead and still very healthy at this point. And now you do probably want to think about, do you go aggressive or do you go conservative here if you're Cyan, Charles?
Yeah, this is a really picky situation here for Cool Cactus. If you're Cyan, you're chilling on this lead here. You're just racking up this damage. And yeah, I mean, Dr. Mario doesn't have the best recovery, so maybe that's why Cool Cactus kind of felt obligated to go off stage. But this time, it's going to be worth bringing it back 1 stock apiece here, Jordan.
Not over yet. 1 game each. The winner will advance to winners finals. Cool Cactus right now underneath that platform trying to shark a little bit. Both fighters get onto neutral ground. It's Cyan sending Cool Cactus off the stage. Cactus able to recover. And Cyan again following it up, and that'll be game as Cyan, switching to Dr. Mario, takes 2 straight games and advances to winners finals. You love the adjustment, Charles.
Oh, we love all the different characters here on this desk. We thought we were just going to see 4. Well, throw some more into the mix.
6. Why not?
Why not? I mean, we got to see Marth. Marth is always a fan favorite in Super Smash Bros. Has been doing amazing things since Melee. I mean, the iconic sword character of the franchise, I would say. And then, of course, Dr. Mario, always a fun pick, really hits hard, but just can be a little bit troublesome off stage. But we saw Cyan really use that power to their advantage on stage, and those up smashes, those noggins were hitting.
All right, let's check out the updated bracket as Cyan gets the 2-1 victory. And we'll move on to take on Zap in our next matchup, which means we're going to see either Luigi or Dr. Mario against a very competent Bowser Jr. and EE. Again, one of those matchups that's the beauty. Smash Ultimate, you're going to get a lot of different matchups, and this is one in particular.
If you ask me if I'm Cyan, I'm riding the hot hand of Dr. Mario right
now.
You
have to.
Because the I mean, it was like one, it's not just a thing to win it 2-1. You did it in reverse fashion. You lost that first game. Dr. Mario was the catalyst to bringing it back, to getting you to winners finals. We all know what Zap brings to the table. He's going to start with that Bowser Jr. He's going to be pretty nutty. You've got to go with your best. And right now, from what I've seen, Jordan, Cyan's best is got to be that Dr. Mario. I was blown away with how impressive that was.
Yeah, Charles, it felt like the switch to Dr. Mario took a lot of pressure off of having to grapple, having to be so close. And then you take out the factors of, well, the stage might really impact the way that I play, or my grip on the stage is going to be impacted. So it feels like it's a much safer choice where you can really rely on your fundamentals. And there you have it. We make the house call. The doctor is here, taking on Bowser Jr.
Yeah, when you say the word well-rounded, not a lot of people in the Smash community would go ahead and say that is going to be paired with Luigi. And I think Dr. Mario going to have a little bit more well-roundedness, right? You're going to have those neutral B, the pill for that mid-range, and both of them still not having the best recovery, and that air dodge is going to cost Cyan a lot here in this game number 1.
Yeah, costly early mistake. You do not want to give any ground to Zap, who's been flawless getting to this point. And now if you're Zap, you're sitting pretty here, EE.
Yeah, you're pretty much just like, oh, you want to give me free stocks? Okay, cool. Now I only have to KO you twice. Like, you just make it that much more easy. There are certain players, Jordan, that you just cannot give that advantage to. I believe Zap falls into that class, and he's kind of showing you why. Just an absolutely destructive force in this game number 1. Has a mastery of this character like no other.
And now it's all about the edge guarding at this point here. Has double the health right now and an extra stock. But Cyan trying to get back into this, but those down airs just so oppressive and able to create some distance is Zap. And you're seeing all the tools at the disposal here for Bowser Jr., Charles.
Yeah, and of course, Bowser Jr., if you hit that cart, there's a lot of weight. But finally, the Doc going to get that first stock here. Wow, but here's the rapid jab that can get the KO. Barely not going to be enough, though. Can you recover?
does recover, has to deploy every possible fundamental to do that. The up throw can't follow up at this point, and that'll be stock number 2 that is down, and it is Zap with a sizable lead here.
And that follow-up really was only blocked because that platform was like right where it was. Very unfortunate for Sion, but nonetheless, Zap going to reap the benefits and the rewards. And don't think he will go all the way for the KO.
How about that? Don't need the cart for the KO. Bowser Jr. pops off, able to connect right there. And how about Zap making quick work? Charles, that quickly steamrolled out of control.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, the thing about Zap is knows the options for Dr. Mario, right? You don't have a lot of options off stage. Your air mobility isn't the best, so you're wiggling left and right off stage. Not going to be the greatest, so you have to employ a lot of things that you just have a lot of lag and cooldown afterwards. Zap knows exactly that, knows where to strike, knows exactly all the different patterns Dr. Mario can go for, and just exactly cover them. And not much you could do as Dr. Mario there off stage.
And you really can't, in EE, you know, a player like Zap, you can't give them an early stock like that where you air dodge and it makes you pay. And so based on this, do you see Dr. Mario coming out again, or maybe a counter pick coming here from Sion? Because, well, we're going to go to Mario. Okay, so we're going through all the plumbers.
I love this guy's dedication to the Mario franchise. Can we talk about that first and foremost? I mean, he's wearing the suspenders like he's the true plumber, man, the working man's character in Mario right now. He's got a lot of work to do after that first game. See if he can bring it back. I'm very interested mainly, Jordan, because I don't know, like, characters sometimes if they're not warmed up, I'm a little concerned about them, right? If they're coming off, like, the bench, if you will. You know, your sixth man, if you will. If it's not warmed up, how effective will it be? The Mario right now, at the very least, he has an SD, so that's a pretty good start.
Hey, Mario's that microwave. You come out and try to give them buckets off the pine as soon as you can, and now they're going back and forth. Mario getting back on stage. Here comes Bowser Jr. rushing in, and now you see a little bit more patience from Sion, not just going in there haphazardly trying to create the contact, but the grab, down throw, and that's going to create another advantage state for Bowser Jr.
Oh, my God! The fact that he used the Mecha Koopa to set that up, the clown cart dash off of the stage, Zap is out of his mind.
Yeah, straight MacGyver action right there. Just using everything you possibly can.
I understood
and now
that.
Thank you. We're the same age. I really appreciate that. I do not mind the fact that we can share some of the same jokes here. Now, here comes more pressure. And Zap, as we said before, just impressive. Doesn't give you any room to breathe at any moment, EE.
I'm doing a lot of really actually advanced techniques too, man. The footstools out of shield as well to create openings with the clown cart. This is just really snowballing out of control for Sion. Really what he's trying to do is find openings to penetrate the defense, right? But Zap is giving him none. The rapid jab right here. Okay, not going to get all of that, which is very fortunate for Sion, but he has got to make this count. A KO is absolutely necessary.
Yeah, the 2 up air string couldn't really follow that up. However, now we're starting to see Sion get some footing. Sion, though, taking a lot of damage on this second stock, trying to just stay on the stage at this point. Gets right back to the ledge. And just like that, the ledge trapping capabilities and the patience of Zap paying off.
Yeah, that forward tilt. I mean, he was using forward tilt, down tilt. He was doing any kind of pressure strings he could to really put the pressure on Sion, and it paid off big time. That is at least the 3rd up smash that has come out from Sion that has not gotten the KO. I don't know what that card is made out of, Jordan, but I'm starting to question some things because these KOs are just, that's the 4th one!
It's the battery. It sits at the base. It's heavier than normal. It's got a good center of gravity at this moment. Finally, first stock goes, but Sion's got a lot of work to do to get back into this one. Zap trying to advance to grand finals, has to take one more stock. The dash, the pursuit, Mario just trying to get back down to earth. And so far, it's a little back and forth at this point. But there goes that clown cart, going to abandon it and create the explosion.
Yeah, Zap continues to be in firm control. But one thing about Mario that I will never count this character out, the ability to combo, okay? If we can get a ladder combo going, maybe assisted by a platform, that could be a potential for an up B super jump punch KO situation. Or just go for broke and try and hit that fair. But unfortunately, nobody home just yet, and that percent only continues to climb as Sion continues to trail, and that might just do it.
And that will do it. So Zap will scoot on into grand finals without even dropping a set at this moment.
No, sir.
Very impressive 2-0 victory. And you saw Sion start to put up a little bit more of a fight in the second half of that, but again, it's just too much aggression coming out from Zap.
Yep.
All the tools at their disposal to really continue to put that pressure on you.
Yeah, that's the problem too. It's not a skill issue on Sion's part, right? And his character was appropriate. It's the fact that Zap just seems so well versed and comfortable. His combo routes, Jordan, that to me was the difference maker. he got so many KOs off situations where I'm just expecting, oh, we're just going to get some additional damage. No, he wants the additional KO. Like, this is a guy who's just willing to go all the way. Takes it to the rack like Luka. It's crazy.
Oh, I like it. You got a little Dallas Mavericks reference in there.
not?
I know that's who you're pulling for. Well, listen, I don't know how much longer people want the camera zoomed in on us, so we're going to go ahead and kick it over to Charles, who's standing by the touchscreen for a little replay action. Charles, what do you got here for us?
All right, so I got Zap's amazing Bowser Jr. Great combo game as well as an offstage edge guard to follow things up. We're going to start the replay here, and as you can see, it's juicy because it starts at 0%. So, of course, right now, Zap's just waiting out the intangibility, really controlling this center area. This center area is the most important part of the stage, and Zap really just using the mobility of Bowser Jr. coming underneath and really throwing out these hitboxes around this general area, right? So if we pause it here, this is where the combo starts, but again, Zap really controlling this center area, throwing out all these lingering hitbox like the down air. When the down air does connect, then we get to see the combo come in. You can go ahead and play it. So standard up air string gets a little bit of a trade here, but still Zap wants to continue putting the pressure on towards the center stage. Then right after that, we can pause it here. That double jump gets caught, so we can rewind it just a little bit, and we see this double jump. And this is what Zap's looking out for. And when we can pause it right here and then play it. So Zap connects here, and then we can pause it. The great thing about Bowser Jr. and any character that can do this is going to be extremely strong off stage. When you have any option that can shoot you up vertically, and then you can cover a high option like a double jump, because here, Cyan wanted to double jump over and get back onto stage. So this is generally the most common option when recovering to just avoid all of this pressure. But because Zap has the up special that goes ahead and launches Bowser Jr. up, and you have that threat of the hammer, you can cover that and get the stock at a very, very low percent. So we can go ahead and finish the clip here. And just like that, getting the KO at 72% after the hit. Incredible stuff to Zap. An incredible gameplay so far, but we're going to toss it to a quick break. Make sure to stay tuned.
I'd like to welcome you all to the Nintendo World Championships.
Electric crowd here. The batteries are charged.
Before I walked out onto stage, I was incredibly nervous. It was my first time in that sort of environment.
The audience was insane. We're wild.
I'm having the best time of my life here.
There are lasers everywhere, the music was blasting, and you're on stage and everybody's cheering and everybody's... I mean, my mom's the loudest person in the audience, right? You can hear her over everybody else.
Right! Yeah!
I'm excited to go on stage, I'm excited to play, and I'm going to do the best I can.
Some unbelievable performances that we saw in this first round.
Am I going to walk out of here the best of the best? Or am I just going to be another average gamer?
It was a lot of emotions at once that me as a 12-year-old was kind of thrown into. Like, this is really like the top level.
Those moments are what this championship was made for.
There was a few people who I felt like were very gifted at games. It just happened to be my day.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a new Nintendo World Champion.
After the competition, I was definitely feeling in my head, I can do better. I can come back. I can have some sort of redemption arc. In my living room? Really?
Bring the excitement into your own home with the Nintendo World Championships NES Edition game. Challenges include racing to grab the Super Mushroom, defeating the Octoroks as fast as you can, reaching the gate as quickly as possible, and so many more. Take on over 150 challenges from across 13 different NES games. Aim for the best time in speedrun mode. Compete for the top spot in the World Championships weekly global online leaderboards. Or take the competition to the couch with up to 8 players in party mode. Nintendo World Championships NES Edition launches July 18 on Nintendo eShop. Nintendo World Championships NES Edition Deluxe Set will also be available, containing a gold-colored replica cartridge, 13 art cards, 5 pins, and a physical game card. Pre-orders are available now on Nintendo eShop.
Hey, what are y'all playing?
Who's that guy?
This takes me back.
And welcome back. We're live from Seattle, Washington, the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Championship 2024 qualifier. Jordan, Kent, EE, and Charles. We just took a quick little break. How cool is the Scholastic opportunities, by the way, for those folks that want to get into Smash at the school level? Opportunity for varsity letters. It is a registered esport. It is a terrific opportunity for those players that want to get in at the ground level at competitive play.
I love it, man. It's something that I really wish I had when I was going to school, and it's just for the simple fact that it gives kids a place to like feel like they have a place to fit in. You know what I mean? Not everybody's an athlete, not everybody's a chess champion, but I'll tell you what, a lot of those kids out there, they are amazing when it comes to video games, and I love the fact that Nintendo is helping foster that.
Take advantage of the opportunity, ride the wave. The growth continues to happen year after year after year as well, too. We also want to let you know, those of you in the Northeast and the Northwest regions, don't forget, it's still not too late to join the tournaments for your chance at an opportunity to qualify for the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Championship 2024. If you want to get on board, get to that ladder round here, make sure you visit battlefy.com/Super Smash Bros. 2024 for registration information. With that, we get set for the loser side of the bracket. Let's go ahead and check things out after we've already sent our first player to grand finals. That is Zap. And now we get set for DT Foe against Cool Cactus. Don't forget, TT Foe had Incineroar. Cool Cactus we saw with me, Swordfighter, and Marth as well. And so now again, Charles, we get to a situation, a grappler against somebody with an extended hitbox.
Yep, it's going to be the life Incineroar has to fight here. All of these disjointed hitbox to go ahead and combat Incineroar, especially that slow movement as well, right? But the main thing you want to think of as Incineroar is when they're throwing out that hitbox, Incineroar does have some armored moves, right? Like that Alolan Wit, that's going to be the main move here for Incineroar. You can go ahead and armor through these hitboxes and really put him in the grappling ring.
And that's really what you're looking for, is those opportunities, those windows to open up. If you are Incineroar, you have to be mindful, I'm sure, of how aggressive you're going to be against somebody that outranges you.
Oh, yeah, of course. And there's going to be the recovery factor, too. Again, you know, that cross chop, great move in the Pokemon franchise as a recovery tool for Incineroar, sometimes leaves a little bit to be desired. So if there is an opportunity for our boy Cactus to go off stage, best believe he's going to take it.
Well, has a bit of a home field advantage as well, too, in this stage. So we'll see. But early on matchup, building up 30%, and that's the kind of start that DT Foe's looking for, Charles.
Yeah, and shout out to Cool Cactus having all kinds of different fits here for the Mii swordfighter, so definitely going to be one of the advantages you have. But, oh, man, so far, Incineroar doing an amazing job of just racking up that damage. Tries to get the down smash, but nothing here. Wow, the forward smash almost connects, but off stage here, Incineroar, are you going to get punished?
Yeah, Cool Cactus able to connect with every single hit of that up B, and then coming down to Earth, DT Foe creating a little bit of separation, and now a little cat and mouse, no pun intended, on the ledge.
I'll tell you what, man, we're really starting to see why this character can be such a threat. These big, strong hitboxes of Incineroar can do so much damage. The Alolan Whip, not going to get the KO, but we are seeing just the positioning he's getting off of these hits. It's going to come sooner rather than later. 144, impressive to survive this long, but I don't know. That this stock is feeling like it's on borrowed time.
Mii Swordfighter hanging in there. Cool Cactus is trying to equal some of the damage here. The huge advantage for DT Foe. You got to close this stock out as soon as possible, Charles.
Yeah, absolutely, and you got to be really careful how you knock on that shield as well. The up tilt into the up air, trying to get some kind of juggle situation. DT Foe just falling straight to the ground. The swiftness here, and who's going to get this stock? Wow, the revenge does not get punished.
No, Cool Cactus starting to even this up. All of a sudden, a string of powerful hits. Here comes that Alolan Whip. Oh, right into your screen. That's going to take the first stock as DT Foe builds the early lead.
Like the little mix-up there, too, actually sending him upwards, maybe trying to trip the DI a little bit. It works out for sure. Though it took DT Foe a lot of time to actually get that KO, so that kind of allowed a little bit of a breathing room here for Cool Cactus, who, while he hasn't gotten the first KO yet, he's got him at 144.
Well, now the pressure shifts to Cool Cactus to try and take this stock here, Charles, because all of a sudden, every single bit of chip damage that you're getting if you're Incineroar, that is bonus.
Yeah, now Incineroar with the lead can kind of stand towards the center of the stage, throw out some of these safer Alolan Whip, especially at the center here, sending so far, tries to go for the down air dunk. Cross stage still going to survive Incineroar. This cat is heavy.
A masterful second stock here for DT Foe. Make that first stock as well as they continue to build their lead. And now just trying to find that opening here. The grab into the back throw at this point, and DT Foe trying to get back on stage. Cool Cactus just waiting for that opportunity, but still can't close out the stock until they do. Now both fighters down to their second stocks here, but you see the slight advantage for DT Foe.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He knows it, too. Oh, my goodness. I love the fact he committed, goes for the revenge. Now he is all the way supercharged. Look for a big-time move off of this. Let's see if he can find the hit. Don't want to rush him down too hard. Let it come to you. Oh, no.
So far, a couple of pokes coming out. The follow-up from Cool Cactus, but DT Foe able to clear some airspace. And Charles, at this moment, if you're DT Foe, how aggressive are you going to be trying to go in there and find your opportunities?
You can just kind of sit back and wait, and finally, Cool Cactus is going to overextend. And I mean, DT Foe not really going too aggressive, just waiting patiently on stage. Now you're going to try to get this aggressive landing with the revenge. Not going to come too so early, but another Alolan weapon. I got to say, Jordan, DT Foe has been amazing with these side specials.
It really has utilized them well to create a lot of separation, but just catching Cool Cactus at the right time and then sends them off the stage one more time. Can they get back onto the stage? They do, but now it's coming down to those last couple of hits here, EE.
Yeah, this is really getting out of hand for Cool Cactus, really feeling the pressure as the heat continues to intensify. No pun intended with the fire type, but you got to know when you're in a situation like that, you can just charge up a smash attack, and Cool Cactus jumps right into it. Credits for not being afraid, but my brother, you should have been.
The fire-type feline engulfs the Cool Cactus to take that first set, and what we saw there, it was really DT Foe dictating the pace of that one, Charles. It really felt like Cool Cactus was never quite comfortable, was always on the retreat trying to create a little bit of separation.
Yeah, because DT Foe was putting out so much pressure. There were so many times where there was so much fear instilled, right? And then you can kind of just step back with the Incineroar and punish really hard. And when you get your opponent to start doing some of these options too early, that's when Incineroar can get a lot of these reactions or just hard reads, especially that up smash towards the end. When Incineroar gets these hard reads, this character hits extremely hard, so you're really going to cash out on some early stocks.
That's a real good point you bring up because, EE, you have to make sure that you're not giving those opportunities to Incineroar.
Oh,
those misses, those hard reads that make it predictable for a slower character to get in there. So we'll see if Cool Cactus has learned anything from the previous set, but here we go as we get set. An opportunity to advance for DT Foe. Cool Cactus hanging on for their tournament lives.
I do like the fact that Cool Cactus elected not to switch characters here. You know what I mean? I mean, it wasn't particularly, oh, if we could tech this, we're going to, oh, no, it goes the wrong way.
Oh, it's supposed to go right, not left.
Oh, that's got to be a heartbreaker because you do what you need to do. You drop down low, you get the edge guard on Cool Cactus, but unfortunately on your recovery, you flub it, and you're back to even ground. Actually, it's not even even because you're trailing now in percentage.
No, Cool Cactus followed up, down throw followed by the up B, and that might take the second one. No, DT Foe able to stay alive here, Charles.
Yeah, and I really want to see this offstage game come through for Swordfighter. Cool Cactus has a lot of options, has the downer to cover low, and then also has those up Bs or back airs or fairs that can cover those high recoveries coming out from Incineroar. Incineroar usually going to opt to go high because of the main threat of the down air here. So I want to see if Cool Cactus can take advantage of that, and all of a sudden really in the favor of Cool Cactus, especially when that stock was looking dire for Cool Cactus.
You see Cool Cactus now continuing to send DT Foe off the stage, creating that separation. Just again, the back air to close things out. Such a punish right there.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I cannot believe how much of a 180 we've taken in this match. But credits to Cool Cactus when opportunities present themselves, you know what I mean? When they come knocking, you answer that door, and he has done just that. Opportunity to attack on some additional damage would be absolutely fantastic here against DT Foe. Again, keeping in mind how hard Incineroar hits. We want to make sure we don't leave anything on the table.
Yeah, to your point, DT Foe has got to get a KO quickly here. DT Foe all of a sudden now falling to Cool Cactus, but there is DT Foe able to send Cool Cactus off the stage. They're down to their final stock. 54%, not bad here, Charles.
Yeah, and that down smash was very clever coming out from DT Foe. Just a great way to get the punish on the dash grab. Incineroar just being so sky high, going up and over the grab and coming down with that hard-hitting punish. The nair into the spin here. Not going to be able to fully connect. The back air so close here. Oh, but wait a minute. Cool Cactus has an opening.
It was critical for DT Foe to get back on this stage, but my goodness, Cool Cactus making quick work on both of the hard-earned KOs after they both kind of SD'd early on.
Love those abrupt endings, okay? Love those abrupt endings because they just it's always something about exactly,
right?
Always something about Smash that just keeps on surprising, and that was great. You know, I know DT Foe, he's got to be kicking himself because it's like, man, I really had an opportunity to be up so much within like the first, felt like 10 seconds of that match, and all of a sudden, you know, reality comes striking, and you're going to game number 3. That's tough.
And it is. It just goes to show you how razor thin that margin is.
Yes.
And really, it was interesting because for a grappler, that was a smaller stage. But all of a sudden, struggled in that situation, Charles. And it's just interesting where you're going to see DT Foe go with the stage selection at this moment.
Yeah, and you got to really watch how you DI some of these moves because especially that Chakram really stayed by that normal get-up area, and then the dash attack really taking that stock so early here. Usually Incineroar can live much, much longer. So even though the smaller stage, the earlier blast zone is not really doing any favors for DT Foe without the correct defense.
Early on, pretty even between both fighters, just trying to get that stage control here. Cool Cactus getting back up on top, but then the follow-up, and it feels like DT Foe a little bit more dialed into these recovery options.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and too, I like the utilization of the Lariat as well. Really good tool from Incineroar as well. I'd like to see implemented a bit more when the offense does allow it to be the case, but still very even footing right now. A Alolan Whip going to open up the stage control to DT, and he knows it too. Goes for the nair. That's going to be all she wrote. Simple and clean, but effective.
Oh, I like what you did there as well. So here we go. That nair leads to the first stock going down for like that, and all of a sudden DT Foe adding on an extra 21, and this is where you've got to create the separation, Charles.
Oh man, I'm really trying to utilize that down air, and that nair, we talked about it earlier, one of the best edge guarding tools for Incineroar, just hits really far below here. The Chakram tries to get set up, a great job just waiting it out on DT Foe, but wow, Cool Cactus striking back with that up air.
And we're seeing a lot of really quick KOs coming out from Cool Cactus as well, just barely north of 100%.
Oh yeah, of course, and I mean just getting that up air as well. Again, Incineroar very heavy, so getting these early KOs on Incineroar, wow, holding out to the very last second so the stomp doesn't come through.
The last little swipe of that blade was able to save things for Cool Cactus. Still alive at 131, trying to punish the recovery. Can't. Alolan Whip comes out and takes the second stock. It comes down to this.
And you'll notice when that Alolan Whip came out too, when you're at those higher percents, your brain just immediately goes to defense mode. Was holding that shield. Alolan Whip cares nothing for that, just tearing through it. That command-like grab status going to allow DT to get a very sizable lead, just one stock away, Jordan, from advancing to losers finals.
Cool Cactus trying to just stay alive in this tournament, has to get back up on the stage, but red again, Charles. DT Foe, oh, do it to him as DT Foe closes it out in style.
Wow, and had enough time to go for the taunt there. DT Foe knowing there was no double jump on Cool Cactus, so got a little bit of time. Why don't you show the crowd what you want to do here, and then comes through with the stomp, ending it in style.
Oh, makes me want to stomp EE. And so getting that victory, that is a huge recovery there for DT Foe. And now they advance to losers finals where they're going to get set to take on Cyan. And this will be an interesting matchup because you're going to have the Luigi, Mario, Dr. Mario, whatever might come out against this Incineroar, and won't have to deal with quite as much range on some of those attacks, but you're going to have a very mobile brawler that's going to make things a little difficult for you.
DT Foe knows that he's Incineroar through and through. Cyan is the one with a lot of options to bring to the table. The Luigi, the Dr. Mario, the regular Mario, right? And all of those characters, they kind of chew Incineroar up from a combo perspective, right? Because Incineroar can really be combo food for all of those characters. DT Foe's defense is going to be what could really carry him through this and being able to survive a lot of that onslaught. If he can weather the storm and get it down to those situations where it's going to be kind of final hit, searching for those KOs, he has a chance.
Well, let's go a little bit deeper. Let's talk about that defense. What does DT Foe need to keep in mind defensively against that trio that we might see of Luigi, Mario, and Dr. Mario?
Oh, right off the bat, avoid the grab. At those lower percents, you have got to avoid that grab. That is the catalyst that opens up so many options for all three of those. Most devastating being, of course, Luigi. As we know, 0 to boop, see you later.
And Charles, it'll be fascinating because you've got a Luigi, you've got a Mario, you've got a Dr. Mario. Where do you think Cyan goes with this matchup against Incineroar?
Yeah, it kind of just depends on where you want to all in. If you want to go for the Luigi, Incineroar is interesting because it's a character that loses to the mid-range and kind of forces your opponent into these brawler-type situations, all these scrambles, and I think Luigi can really thrive in that because when it's hit for hit, Luigi's the one that wins out.
Let's turn the page to Yoshi's story. Luigi will be the representative here for Cyan, and we'll see how they match up. Grappler versus grappler at this point, and so far, both fighters, EE, just kind of trading blows in the middle of the stage.
I think all things considered, this is one of the better stages to roll to because at least those tri-plats are going to offer a little bit of a safe haven when the opportunity does present itself. But of course, Luigi going to remain aggressive in a lot of these spots regardless. See those Zayers coming out trying to get in with the neutral air as well, and getting out of disadvantage with the Luigi Cyclone is a big thing as well. So it will make it a little bit more difficult for DT to get some guaranteed follow-ups, but it's just something you have to anticipate and then maybe just kind of counter.
Here we go, Luigi trying to get into one of those combos. 3 hits there. That'll rack up the damage. Down throw follows that up. And already a stock, Charles.
Yeah, Yoshi's story, the blast zone's very small here for both of these characters. We're going to see some really early stocks, and they are flying here. And yeah, that down throw into the Cyclone, very strong. And great thing that EE mentioned this as well, that Luigi Cyclone is a combo breaker type move. So sometimes you got to bait it out, and sometimes your guaranteed combos aren't so guaranteed versus Luigi.
Alolan Whip to the top. Cyan able to recover safely. Out of shield options don't work for either one. Little jab combo coming up here from DT Foe. Gets back onto the stage. Neither fighter able to connect off stage there for a moment, but here comes Luigi EE. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. DT Foe able to recover.
Yeah, he's putting together a really nice combo string momentarily. Here we go, Luigi Missile getting back safely. Oh, Cyclone swinging, but nobody home. Great opening for DT Foe. Maybe thinking Alolan Whip. He's looking for an opening. Oh, big whip on that grab, and that's going to lead to a dash attack, which leads to a KO. Well done.
Yeah, miss there. Huge opportunity for DT Foe and able to capitalize. And now 2-1 advantage in the stocks. Oh, Cyan almost took a quick one to even it up, but DT Foe able to get back onto the stage. Oh, but Cyan plunges in to the wool waters, and all of a sudden, that is game 1 for DT Foe.
And Incineroar holding the belt really proud there of that win. And, I mean, getting that KO so early versus the Luigi there. In that position, Luigi maybe thought, oh, I need to go ahead and tech the stage because I'm getting hit. But at such low percents, it really kind of depends on the hitbox of the move. And sometimes it happens so quick, it's hard to make that snap decision. And with the lag of the air dodge, not able to make it back, effectively, losing the stock at 0% so early, but really impressive stuff coming out from Incineroar, not getting snatched up too often, honestly.
They will not waste any time. DT4 and Cyan get right back into it. Luigi versus Incineroar. It will be a rematch and some good sportsmanship beforehand as well, too, for both of them. We'd like to see that. And already it's Cyan that racks up 43% against DT4 and a little bit more room to work with here on this stage, EE.
I like this a lot, actually, for Cyan because you've removed any platforms from the equation. This is something Luigi is going to be looking for a lot of grabs and maybe a little bit more guaranteed follow-ups. But you can see right here, DT4 not at all shying away from the challenge. The aggressiveness from this man has continued, and this is really a slugfest in this opening stock.
Yeah, a couple of fighters missing some openings. Oh, but there's that sound, and that's trouble on the other end. DT4 losing the first stock. Cyan, that up B is unbelievable, Charles.
Oh, so strong, and it's pretty much the strongest punish Luigi can bring to the table here, and because of that, Cyan is going to rack up even more damage, getting the soft hit of those up airs so you can chain them over and over again. Going to go ahead and disengage 69%, still a good amount of damage here for Cyan. Cyan trying to find another opening, but really good stuff on DT4, landing with the forward smash as well. Looks like getting the tipper hitbox on that.
An impressive comeback from DT4. It was looking like Cyan had a huge advantage here, EE, but DT4 able to kind of even things up here just a little bit, trying to get back in the middle of this stage, though. But those airs coming out, Cyan just looking for that opportunity, has to come down in the punish from DT4.
He completely baited out that up B attempt, too. That was very, very smart by DT4. And one thing you're going to notice, too, Jordan, a lot of those leads sometimes that you have against a character like Incineroar, they can almost feel false because of how much damage he can actually put out. But when you have those follow-ups like that, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Yeah, Charles Foe missed the opportunity on the cooldown after the smash. Cyan able to string that into a nice combo, and now it's Cyan with the 2-1 advantage. Now you have a chance to be a little bit more patient. You don't have to necessarily give those openings to DT4.
You gotta be really careful as well if you're DT4. You don't want Luigi to get that grab and rack up a ton of damage. I love the revenge. Gonna wait it out, waits the double jump out, but still gets the back air off the ledge jump. DT4 being very, very smart in that situation. Not going exactly all in on the edge guard, but waiting for the ledge option after.
DT4, a chance to go to grand finals. Cyan just trying to stay alive here in this tournament. Back row off the stage, both fighters recover, rolling back into the middle. Cyan trying to protect the middle ground, but now it's DT4 that comes back down to earth, and now EE, it's just a neutral game. Who's going to get the advantage?
Exactly, and it's not too often that you see an Incineroar as bold as DT4 willing to go off the stage, but Luigi, that recovery can definitely leave some things to be desired, and you can tell it right now. DT4 sensing that his prey is at his tail end at 85%, man. Incineroar thrives at surprising people and getting KOs at these kind of percentages.
Cyan trying to get back on, and that'll do it. DT4 2-0 over Cyan to head to grand finals, and so Incineroar was the pick, stuck with it, had no issues with the grappler Luigi, but it really felt like that second stock, Charles, able to get that very quick KO. All of a sudden, it was one stock each, 27%. DT4 started to feel very comfortable at that moment.
Oh, yeah, and as you can see, DT4 has some tricks that he likes to save for the very end, just like putting all of that upfront pressure and then stepping back to the roll area, getting that huge up smash swing. We saw it work on 2 different players, so really great stuff to go ahead and close that set out. I love the tricky movement.
Let's check out the updated bracket after DT4 gets the 2-0 sweep over Cyan, and that'll set up a rematch from our very first winner semifinal, Zap versus DT4, where it really wasn't close. Now you wonder, has Incineroar learned a few more tricks, or will Bowser Jr. continue to outdistance and out-trick everyone here, EE?
I would argue that 2-0 loss, which was pretty one-sided on the favor of Zap, is maybe what's fueling DT4 in this loser side of the bracket. Because you think about it like this. I know I'm better than what I showed up there. So I'm going to use that as motivation to get through loser semis, get through losers finals, get the grands, and then really give you a show. Because a lot of times, Jordan, the measure of revenge that you're seeking can be enough to really power you through. I've seen it happen before. You play with some rage, and some good things happen in game, of course.
Well, rage and revenge, options for
See?
Incineroar. You're putting the puzzle pieces together here, EE. And Charles, at the end of the day, you can have all the emotional get-up that you want, but it comes down to the X's and O's and how you execute. And so far, Bowser Jr. has looked flawless compared to the rest of the field here.
Yeah, I think Zap, just as a player, has really come through, and you can see all of his hard work, the punish game, the combo game really on point, knowing all these different matchups, and it can be very difficult when there's so many different fighters in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So a lot of these players that really dedicate to their craft, I show them a lot of respect because you can just see it in their gameplay, right?
And to follow up with you, Charles, it feels like Bowser Jr. just has so many more angles to approach you and surprise you with, whether it's the Mecha Koopas, the combos, the out of the clown card options. We've seen all that. Has DT Foe learned anything after crawling through the loser side of the bracket, getting back to grand finals? Can they reset it, or will Zap and Bowser Jr. close this thing out without a scratch? Here we go as we get set in this first matchup, and early on you see DT Foe holding down middle of the stage here for the most part, EE.
I mean, you know, really the battle just starts with getting a game off, because I don't believe Zap has lost a game at all throughout the entirety of this bracket run, which in and of itself, Jordan, may be a first. You know what I mean? That actually may be a first for us, so that is incredible for sure. Obviously, we know DT Foe very much so motivated, wants a little bit of a measure of revenge. Off to not a bad start at all. He's got him at 68, but this is where Zap really starts to kind of pick things up in that clown card, attempting to aid him right there.
However, DT Foe hanging in there, able to match blow for blow, but then off the stage, the edge guarding, and that's going to go ahead and take the very first stock. And we mentioned it, Charles, just so many different angles and much more distance, but DT Foe, the follow-up.
Yeah, DT Foe returning the favor there, saying, hey, I might not have the best recovery, but I can go off stage too with these very aggressive forward airs or back airs, and Incineroar hitting much harder than Bowser Jr., so you got to be real careful there. Not going to be able to get the Nair into the grab, and look at this combo string that Zap is able to put together for the punish.
Yeah, after a beautiful spot dodge as well, the dash can't follow up with the out of clown card option, and really, EE, we've seen for the most part that it looks like Zap very comfortable attacking from above, doesn't mind putting Incineroar below them.
Yeah, for sure. And it's because of the advantage that he gets, right? If he is able to hit from that angle, just pop him up and get one of those mean follow-ups as well. Oh, no! Coming up a little bit short. I can't harp on it enough. That recovery leaves so much to be desired at times.
DT Foe, though, can make up for all of it if they can just get a quick KO. However, it's Zap racking up all sorts of damage here, Charles.
Again, those combo strings are clean here, going off the top there. DT Foe being really creative, not actually going for the one that does the most damage here. You can do it different ones at different times for the Alola Whip, but the forward smash is not, it's not enough, though. It's not enough.
EE, you're frozen in time.
Regardless of him losing that match right there, I want to say getting out of disadvantage up there that close to the blast zone with the Alola Whip was absolutely brilliant, just chucking him up. That was brilliant, okay? That's a moral victory, Jordan, that I just have to tip my cap to. That was insane. Wow.
Well, either way, Zap picking up the first game, 1-0, now just one game away from claiming the title here today in this championship 2024 qualifier, and it felt like if you're Incineroar and DT Foe, that was much closer than what we saw in that very first winter semifinal. Still just making a few more errors than Zap, and that was the difference, it felt like, Charles.
Yeah, there can be very slight things that happen in the game which not going to be very beneficial to Incineroar. Again, sometimes you can just tap Incineroar off stage, and that is going to be the stock. Like EE was saying, I mean, not the greatest recovery in the game, and Zap definitely going to abuse that for this matchup.
Will it come down to this? Zap has to pick up one more game to go ahead and claim the championship for the Southeast, or will DT Foe push this thing to a third game with an opportunity to reset the bracket? Here we go, going back and forth, holding down the middle of the stage is DT Foe, creating a little bit of distance, but we're seeing Zap being a little bit more measured in their approaches. Still not enough to get through those defenses of DT Foe.
Yeah, it's interesting that Zap just has different kind of gears, right? Sometimes he's operating in, gear 4, sometimes he's operating in gear 2. He is somebody who can really kind of switch up the tempo and the pace. Now, right now, you can see him being very aggressive, understanding that, yes, that recovery of Incineroar, of course, as we harped on it before, not the greatest. Didn't even really need to do anything, just knocking him far enough where it wasn't even going to be an option.
You saw quickly taking that first stock, Teapot trying to get right back into this, but still Zap looking very healthy in the 1-2 follow-up, has you slapping the table in disbelief.
I mean, it's just crazy, man. This kid is just something that really special, and it goes to show you that Bowser Jr. is not a character, Jordan, people traditionally have on their radar for like a top tier threat. Zap completely rewrites the book on that, being an absolute menace, as Teapot is finding out firsthand.
And Zap with those dashes getting back onto the stage, takes the second stock,
Yep.
a pristine 3-1 stock lead. Zap can smell it, an opportunity to claim the title here today for the Southeast, just has to close things out against Teapot, and they are determined to do so, sending him to the ground one more time out of the clown cart, popping off and doing it in precise fashion is Zap, showing everybody why they were head and shoulders above the rest of the competition.
The jab reset into immediate KO is insanity. Zap, somebody who you can tell is a little bit of a lab monster, because there's a lot of percent windows in specific situations where you have to be ready to capitalize. Clearly, he knows every single combo route available to this character, and that is why he is a champion on the day. Well earned, Jordan.
And again, it's just the options that they have at their disposal every single time that they were approaching. It was you don't know if you were coming out of the clown cart, if a Mega Koopa was coming, or even just dashing back onto the stage. It was too much pressure, too much speed, and it just felt like Incineroar burned through those 9 lives and had their heads spinning around trying to figure out where Bowser Jr. was coming from.
But you see what I was talking about when I told you that he has those gears, right? We saw gear 2, and then before you knew it, it was gear 4, it was gear 5, and it was over. You know what I mean? Like, that's how quickly he can kind of switch the tempo and operate. And for somebody like Zap, somebody who's really, you know, made his name more in the competitive Smash scene through the online world, this is somewhere where he really thrives. He's very comfortable understanding, yes, there's a lot of talent on the other side of the monitor, but why can I not be the better player on the day? Does a wonderful job. Congratulations to him.
Zap has now earned a chance for an invite to the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Championship 2024, being held August 25th. And we also want to thank the other competitors for making it this far. They'll go home with some Nintendo Gold points, and you'll have 8,000 My Nintendo Gold points for second place, 6,000 for third place, and 6,000 more for fourth place as well, too. So a wonderful opportunity to rack up some points and get yourself some software. But for the most part, it just goes to show you the depth of each character in this game. And Bowser Jr., we've seen it time and time before. Some people kind of sleeping on Bowser Jr., but can be a surprise pick with, again, just everything that they can throw at you.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun, too, because we've had an opportunity to do a lot of these Smash Ultimate, like, qualifiers, Jordan, me and you, and I've been a privilege to sit with you and do this.
Oh, likewise.
Of course. But, you know, we've never actually seen a Bowser Jr. go on a run. Teapot is somebody, I think we had the privilege at a PAX East, to commentate him doing pretty well, having a really good run. Was even an alternate at one point in one of the I think 2019 he was an alternate. So we know Teapot is a very talented player and he's comfortable on this stage. However, Zap letting you know this new breed is coming to play and they ain't playing too nice.
That memory of yours is a steel trap. Let's go ahead and kick it over to Charles that's standing by, our telestrator. Charles, a lot of fun in that last set there between Incineroar and Bowser Jr.
And of course, I have to throw it over to the clip, the taunt into the down air. That was very, very beautiful coming out from Teapot here. So some more Incineroar action. We're going to go ahead and play the clip on this very last stock. Teapot did an incredible job of just racking up the damage, using that dash attack to kind of close in the zone, but here gets hit and then gets put onto the ledge here, right? So from this position, Teapot going to look for some kind of hitbox to try and get this offense going. After the air dodge here, goes for the forward air, gets the hit, then off this tech chase, gets the dash attack, right? We're going to set up his opponent, Cool Cactus, on to the left side of the stage. With this neutral air, go ahead and pause it here. Because that neutral air goes ahead and trades, Teapot actually, since he's at such low percent, it's going to be right here by the stage, and Teapot knows that there is no double jump here. Because of that, Teapot is like, hey, I got enough time, throw out the taunt, line up the down air, and that's going to be the game. So we can go ahead and play the rest of this stock here. Oh, actually first goes into the down tilt, which combos into the forward air. Now, okay, sorry, Teapot. Now you got time to throw out the taunt. There's that established distance, lines up the down air, and just like that, Teapot ends it off in style. So what an amazing set there, and I mean, amazing tournament overall. We're gonna throw it to a quick break. We'll be right back.
Our tale begins in a far-off land where Mario gets mugged. Is that right? On his grand adventure to recover the crystal stars, Mario is cursed to fold into a paper plane. What? Then faces a dragon with a froggy phobia? He's getting into epic scraps, saving transforming townsfolk, and battling wacky wrestlers in Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door. Available now.
And welcome back live from Seattle, Washington. It's the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Championship 2024 qualifier as we get set for the Southwest region. Zap was our winner for the Southeast that just got done taking place. Don't forget, if you want to join in and you're in the Northeast or the Northwest, you can still sign up to join the competition for an opportunity for an invite to the championships on August 25th. Make sure that you go to battlefy.com/Super Smash Bros. 2024. With that being said, I'm Jordan Kent. He's EE, and we've got Charles on the other side as we get set for a lot of excitement here with the Southwest region. And again, the theme seems to be, gentlemen, the character diversification. We have not seen any two of our 8 fighters here today choose the same character.
I personally love that. You have a roster of over 80 characters. Pick a couple different ones. You don't all need to come through in the same outfit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how I go to a party. I want to be uniquely me, and I like the fact that these players are uniquely them, and it's working out to be very entertaining.
And, Charles, it leads to a lot of cross matchups, some counter picks. It brings a lot of excitement as we go through these rounds here as well.
Yeah, we've seen already a bunch of different counter picks and a lot of players just sticking out with the characters they really like to play in tournaments, so it's really fun. And we got a whole new set of characters coming into this bracket as well. Really exciting characters.
Let's go ahead and check out our representatives from the Southwest. You have Lisa, Fire, Shu, and Teapot. Lisa going to specialize with Joker, Shu, Zero Suit Samus, Fire with Fox, and Teapot with Terry. And Charles, Little Bird told me that you main Fox, and so what can you tell us about the playstyle that we're going to see after we watched essentially 3 grapplers go at it?
Fox is just going to be a character with many, many hitboxes, many, many combos, and it's always a good time playing Fox, but not going to have the most fun off stage. Little guy can struggle out there.
And EE, you feel like Shu might be the favorite coming into this.
Oh, Shu, she's an absolute terror, man. Like, I get an opportunity to actually watch her compete at other competitive tournaments too, and she always does very well. Always a threat whatever bracket that she does end up pulling out. So I've got a good feeling, and plays Zero Suit Samus as well. One of those characters I just find very, very entertaining in general. So this bracket is just full of a lot of diversity and a lot of hard-hitting characters.
No surprises, double elimination. We'll go through winners semifinal, winners final, and then we'll go through the loser side of the bracket before we get to grand finals. And so Lisa versus Fire will be our first matchup. There is the Fox and the Joker getting ready to take stage. Blink and you'll miss it because we have 2 of the quickest characters in the game here, Charles.
Oh yeah, both these characters can move very, very fast, and just watch the off stage as well. Joker, a character that can really punish Fox off stage. We'll see if that even happens though, because Fox can be so dominant on the stage because of the speed, because of how fast and devastating these combos become.
Obviously, if you hit Smash Bros. Ultimate Final in the search bar early on in this game's existence, you saw a lot of Joker matches at that point. Obviously, the balance has changed some things, but Joker's still a very scary character.
Oh, Joker remains in my top 5, and I would say never going anywhere. I think this character is absolutely insane. The ability to get such a strong boost when Arsene is present and allow you to just focus and really corral a lot of options from other characters, I think makes him very devastating. The only drawback, Jordan, I will say the recovery actually feels a little bit weaker, but when you're dominating on a stage like this, does it really matter?
Fox trying to get back on the stage here at this moment. Fire just really doing a fine job of kind of waiting out that Arsene. Didn't get to a huge disadvantage, Charles.
Yeah, once the Arsene is gone, then you don't have to worry about the firepower too much, especially that counter. Oh, but no, not expecting the tech chase scenario. Gets the downer. You're going to have to wait it out, but a great directional air dodge off stage where Fox really can't get you, but the forward smash does connect here for Fire.
Perfectly read by Fire. Takes the first stock. Now the pressure's on Lisa to try and rack up some damage to even this out here a little bit, EE.
Yeah, for sure. And now this is a situation where definitely, okay, if you take enough damage, yeah, you're going to get Arsene, but that's not necessarily the way you want to get Arsene, right? You don't want to take it through a lot of punishment. So let's see, forward throw, nice. Let's see some edge guarding. You got to go out stage. Back air would be great to connect here, and there it is, right on the money, and it's going to initiate that Arsene. But smart of Lisa, or excuse me, of Fire to wait a little bit for those embers to burn.
And that was a huge turnaround right there by Lisa, because now you've got Arsene to start things off when you're at 2 stocks each here, Charles. You've got to make this count if you want to give yourself a little bit of room in this matchup.
Ooh, but misses the follow-up off the down throw, goes for the counter, and this is all the Arsene timer running out here. Great job on Fire kind of timing that one out. And now Fire has the lead already. Now 80% here, gets the reset, but no punish on that air dodge onto the stage here. But Fire still controlling the center, throwing out all of these different hitboxes. Just needs one to connect for a devastating blow.
Right, and EE, this is like rec league basketball right now. A lot of misses back and forth, but eventually someone's going to connect. And so it's Joker that's able to send Fire off the stage, but Fire able to recover right now. Who's going to be the first one to string together a few hits?
Yeah, a lot of back and forth action is really what I'm appreciating about this. And, you know, maybe a little bit of nerves as it is the first game, but both of these characters understand they have high combo potential. Have I seen that utilized to the greatest of extents? Not just yet. Up tilt right there, not going to connect, but the back air again, right on the money. I like the fact that Lisa isn't afraid to take some risks for sure, but you've got to find these openings, especially when Fox is off stage. That is where you're going to be able to eat, and right there, starting to feast.
Fire trying to get back on stage with Fox, using that Firefox. Arsene comes out. Both fighters over 100%. Who's going to connect on that first solid hit? Arsene will certainly help out Lisa. Lisa gets sent to the edge here. Fox trying to go back and forth. Fox able to connect. Not enough. Trying to blast through them off the stage. No luck. Charles, this is getting down to it. Finally, Lisa able to get the KO.
Yeah, many opportunities dropped by both players. A lot of different scrambles, and you can tell the nerves are settling in. That's the thing about playing Smash. It is very fun, and you can be very consistent, but when something's on the line or you're in a tournament, that's when all the nerves start coming out.
Lisa doing a fine job with the 2-1 stock lead, builds up 38% damage against Fire. Fire whiffs on that one, 1-2 connection, gets back onto the stage, but again, read by Lisa, and Lisa starting to rack it up here, EE.
Yeah, that was really good off of that up air, just going to get that regrab really solid. And this is actually such a benefit for Lisa because understanding, okay, gets hit with the back of there, but understanding Fox, at the very least, if all Fox is doing is grabbing you, you're in a pretty good situation. You know what I mean? You can sit in that shield and maintain that lead. Fox isn't going to get any kind of strong options out of throw.
Fox peering over the edge at 100+%. Lisa back throw sends them off the stage. Fox trying to get back on, but connected with the aerial, and Lisa trying to just hunt down that KO, Charles.
Ooh, no tech, and that is a lot of meter coming out from the Rebels guard here. So Lisa having multiple outs, goes for another one, but the Rebels guard, okay, Arsene is going to come out here, but can you make it count? Fox, with these long combo strings, can really just drain the meter just off of hits, but okay, here it is, the rapid jab already drained half the meter there. Great stuff, but you're still at 148%. You really got to make this ledge trap count. Catches the roll, the up air connects. This is looking very doable here for Fire.
Yeah, Arsene and Ofer coming out there, not helping at all, and all of a sudden Fire is starting to even this thing up. Oh, however, huge connection by Lisa. Fire just trying to get back on the stage. Can Lisa read the recovery? Lisa, like a book, gets the victory in this first game, but that was enthralling, EE.
Yeah, that was a really hard-fought victory for Lisa, and good effort by Fire as well. Really, one thing that I really took away from that, Lisa not the greatest at covering those lower recoveries as Fire was coming up at that angle, right? You saw a lot of times little Rebels guard, let me just try and at least boost up my Arsene meter, get him a little bit closer, but sometimes Arsene would be there and wouldn't even make a difference. That's something that Lisa cannot afford to let continue to happen. Arsene has to be the game-breaking mechanic for you.
And that's really going to be the big adjustment for both players coming into this next game here, Charles, is that if you're Lisa, can you make better use of Arsene? And then if you're Fire, we really didn't see too many big hits. And that's not Fox's specialty, but you know this, maining Fox, it takes a lot of skill to hunt out that KO.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, I mean, it's just so dangerous letting Fox back onto the stage. Like EE was mentioning, if you can't really cover these low Firefox recoveries, yeah, you're gaining the meter, but you're not getting the stock, right? And we saw Fire almost bring that one back. I mean, in general, if Fox is on point, you're playing a 2 to 3 hit character at, you know, when you're really on point, and you can get all of these combos, all of these tech chases.
All right, we've got two squirrels in a bag with these two fast characters on a small stage. A lot of contact back and forth, but so far it's a couple of up throws. Followed up nearly to the top of the blast zone. Was sniffing it there for a second, EE.
Yeah, I like that attempt right there with the B to maybe catch Fire off guard and get the KO. Didn't work out, but definitely sending a little bit of a message like, yeah, we're on this stage with those shorter blast zones. I'm going to be a little cheeky at times.
Oh, look at you, you well-international man right there. Here we go. Arsene comes out. Can Arsene do anything at this moment? Has really not flexed much muscle until then. Picks up the KO and Lisa out to an early lead, Charles.
Oh, yes, and that Arsene back air has done many things for many players. It's a very powerful move here, and just like that, going to get the first stock here on Lisa's side. Okay, but here is the forward air setting up a lot of percent. Fire does have this ledge trap, tries to get the back air, but Lisa barely avoiding it, getting back on the stage, using the guns to stall. I like that.
Fire, an opportunity to really even things after taking an early KO. Lisa just needs to recover and get back onto stage safely. They do, and now Lisa can try to rack up some bonus damage. 1-2 follow-up, can't get it on the plat. Fox cleans it up. That was huge for Fire.
Yeah, just one too many aggressive options playing around that shield of Fire. Got to understand, Fox, one of the best out of shield options with that up smash. KO potential is through the roof at those kind of percentages. So good stuff to Fire, able to put this back on even footing. But I do like the fact that Lisa, in my opinion, settling in a little bit more, seems a bit more comfortable delivering a lot of these counter routes.
And that's what we're seeing so far, Charles. Lisa just connecting in a few more hits, gets the advantage for moments before Fox can recover. And that's been the difference here on this second stock.
Yeah, playing really safe here. These neutral airs, these back airs, not a crazy amount of range, but you are going to outrange someone like Fox here that really just wants to close in the gap. Arsene is here. There's the up throw, tries to get the up air to follow up. Another trade back and forth. The counter going to go unpunished, and so much scrambling and moving all towards the center of the stage, but it's the down air into the up smash for Lisa that's going to go ahead and lock in this stock lead.
Oh, Arsene is playing for a contract in this game. Right now has racked up 2 stocks, and now Lisa's in prime positioning to try and take this game.
Yeah, no doubt about that. One of my favorite combinations, the 1-2 punch of that down air up smash when Arsene is on board. It is absolutely devastating, as Fire did find out. Now trailing an entire stock, finds a back air though with some stage control, electing to not get too greedy. But again, I like the fact that Fire is willing to put himself out there. That down smash, clearing it out, and we still got ourselves a heck of a game too.
Fire said, wait just 1 second. Now they're down to their final stock. Don't forget, Lisa can win this game, advance to winners finals. Fire would love to send it to a game 3. Back and forth they go, and right now, neither player here, Charles, able to take control of neutral.
Yeah, there is a percentage lead for Lisa here. The Rebels guard going to get grabbed. Okay, but now Arsene coming out to play, but these up air chains going to do quite a bit of damage to the Meteor. Already half gone, coming up with the aggressive ledge option. Another whiff punish with the dash attack, and this is Arsene looking like it's almost about to run out.
Yeah, Arsene had taken the first 2 stocks. This time going to go home empty. Wait a second. Oh, Arsene at the buzzer takes all 3 stocks and helps Lisa advance to winners finals. That's when you talk about the 6th man of the year,
Lisa literally said, okay, final embers are burning away. Arsene's not going to make another return given like how high percent we're all at. I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm just going to throw caution to the wind, and that up smash did connect. Well done from Lisa. You have to be bold to do that, because if that whiffs, Jordan, you're in a situation where you, in fact, could be on the other side and getting KO'd.
Yeah, and Charles, that's what we talked about coming into this game. Could Lisa make better use of Arsene? We saw it taking all 3 stocks when Arsene was present.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the back air early on, right? And especially at the very end there, like E said, the very last embers, great punish. And that Arsene up smash actually hitting behind Joker as well to get that stock. Fox extremely light. And Yoshi's story, that counter pick kind of working against Fire because of those small blast zones. But very well done from Lisa, really utilizing that Arsene game too.
Let's go ahead and check out the bracket. Lisa, the very first fighter to advance to winners final. They will take on the winner of Shu and Teapot, which means we have a matchup of Zero Suit Samus versus Terry that Teapot will be piloting. And Terry, obviously, that's another player that wants, another character that wants to play to their strength as far as what do you see them doing against the speed and mobility of Zero Suit Samus?
Well, you know, Terry, I mean, being a Shoto character, you know, that means fighting game character. You know, you have a lot of combos that you can really utilize. The thing that I would be most concerned about is the fact that Shu, once she knocks you off the stage with ZSS once, I don't know if you're really coming back. Or if you are, you're taking a ton of damage. You're being taxed just for trying to get back to the stage. I think being able to keep the stage control is going to be Teapot's best friend, but Jordan, with a lot of things, it's easier said than done.
It's a ponytail battle as we get set. Zero Suit Samus and Terry matching up right now, and so far it's going to be a question of the recovery for Teapot and Terry. Shu, as we said, the heavy favorite possibly coming in with the nimble Angiles. Zero Suit Samus, and already showing the difference that they can make with their mobility, Charles.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And ZS, I mean, this is just one of those matchups where Zero Suit has all the tools, everything from mobility to punish game to offstage, but can you execute it? Because one little mess up and Terry is going to hit you really, really hard.
Gets hit with the stun, and all of a sudden, Zero Suit Samus has racked up 83%. Terry hasn't even looked comfortable so far, and if you're Terry, what do you have to do in this situation just to try and get a little bit of momentum going here?
Well, you're really trying to open up your offense, right? The problem is because of how agile and evasive ZSS can be, it's something that, you know, doesn't necessarily lend itself to be the easiest thing in the world. Great decision making. That right there, that KO is all because Shu stayed grounded and was patient. Gets the stun gun, stun one time, and you're done. Well done.
So Shu able to follow up, get that quick stock, but Teapot comes back in on their second stock, able to rack up even more damage. But it feels like, again, Shu is just dictating the pace of this here, Charles.
Yeah, and Shu knowing this matchup extremely well in a sense where you really want to get the KO before or as Terry is hitting 100%, because right when Terry gets to 100%, you have that go meter and you have access to much more powerful moves that you can combo into.
To your point, got that KO at a critical time. Zero Suit Samus still staying alive. Shu able to get back on the stage. Has been dominant with Zero Suit Samus, and so far doing a great job of just staying alive. You know those hits are going to be even more impactful now.
Yeah, and look at the percentage right here, 138, and still being more on the offensive end. Very offensively minded player, and that's what I was talking about before we even started things. When you're off stage, it can be so difficult. You're going to get back, but you are getting taxed 82%. Can we even survive to get to 100 so that go meter can even be a potential comeback mechanic? I'm not so sure about it right now.
We're getting close to the go meter right now, but you don't want to flirt with any more damage. And now it is there. It is viable. Can Terry take advantage of it? Teapot just trying to take the first stock. Right. They do. Now it comes down. What can you do with this window here, Charles?
Yes, this go meter finally online, but where do you start the stock off stage here? Shu able to get a really good start here. Tries to combo into that down smash. Goes into the Buster Wolf. Are you okay? And that's a lot of damage.
Oh, 1-2, and all of a sudden, Teapot has completely flipped this game and taking full advantage, of that go meter.
The whole point was to open up the offense and find your opportunities. Oh, he found an abundance of them right there to make that count. That go meter, the DLC privilege right now on full display, and Shu in a lot of trouble, man. A complete 180 from the start of this thing.
Can Teapot rack up one more monstrous hit before going back to that final stock and that go meter not being available? Being patient, hanging on the ledge, trying to get back to the middle of the stage. Now creates a little bit of distance. Can be mindful of the approach. The jab approach, here it comes. And how about Teapot and what they're doing, Charles?
Oh my goodness, are you even going to survive? And just that go meter from the second stock was everything for Teapot. And man, so many Buster Wolves, so many Power Geysers, and the crazy thing about Go Meter, you don't really need to take the stock with it. You can just combo from your jabs into all of these moves just for damage to get them into percent for the Power Geyser to take the KO. Very well played there, and just didn't even lose that second stock. Teapot really showing how good they are on this character, and I mean, in my opinion, the favorite to win this tournament, getting the first game on them. Amazing.
Correct me if I'm wrong, that was 3 stocks in a row from that go meter.
Yeah, go meter literally was the 1, 2, 3. Like, it was insanity because Shu dominated so convincingly in the early parts of that match. You didn't think that was like, okay, you thought, okay, go meter will definitely help assist a potential comeback. You don't expect it to turn into a complete one-sided domination. That was amazing from Teapot.
So Shu coming in, many people thought would be the heavy favorite in the Southwest region, loses the first game, and now Teapot with Terry, that go meter. You've seen the full potential. What adjustment, Charles, do you think we'll see from Shu here in this second game in a much smaller stage?
We're going to have to see these edge guards really come through here for Shu. That's the main thing that Teapot should be struggling with, and that's the main reason why this matchup can be tough, because if you are getting edge guard, you're probably not even getting to that 100% mark in general, right? So we'll see if Shu can really keep the go meter under control, because that's when Terry fully gets unlocked.
Teapot doing a fine job so far, building the lead and just getting back onto stage. Some of these recovery options and turning your defense into offense,
Oh, yeah, 100%. And understanding, okay, this is what it's going to take to get the W. You know, you got to have a lot of times, Jordan, I say you got to have a short memory, and you got to just put that first game behind you and get right back in the saddle. And love the fact it's so evenly matched between these two on game number 2. We saw an onslaught in the first one, but now we're seeing a back-and-forth type match. Those are my favorites.
Here is the go meter ready to roll. The question is, Teapot able to recover, and all of a sudden Shu an untimely KO, and that's going to put Shu in a very difficult situation. You were not anticipating the SD essentially there, Charles.
Yeah, that up special not going to get all the way back to the ledge. I like the idea from Shu, but you got to watch the shield as well. The go meter is online. A lot of different shield break setups that Terry has as well, and it looks like Teapot really opting for this low recovery. When you go ahead and hold down on the rising tackle before you do it, you can go ahead and get that intangibility on the way up, and I think Teapot doing an incredible job of utilizing that for these very safe low recoveries, but finally the plasma wood coming through here for Shu, evening things up 2 stocks apiece.
Last game, we saw Teapot take 3 stocks with the go meter. This time around, just 10% EE. A completely different script this time, and that bodes very well for Shu.
Oh, if you're Shu, you're just like, okay, good, excellent. I've mitigated the damage at a point where I know this character is at their most deadly. Now I just need to go ahead and make sure, kind of do a similar first stock to what I did in that first game where I just obliterated it, had a controlling lead, let it slip away, but this time not trying to let that be the case. But I can definitely tell, just given the nature of this stage, Jordan, they're forced to be in a little bit more close quarters. Shu cannot utilize the acrobatics of ZSS as much to kind of escape some of these tricky corner situations, so more of a brawl is just kind of due.
And right now, Charles, we're just seeing a little bit of dancing back and forth. Nobody's really been dominant. They're just kind of chipping away at one another.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, if you're Terry, this is exactly what you want, because if you're just chipping back and forth, the chances of you losing the stock at around 100%, not too great here. So Shu trying to find this big opening, but Teapot really forcing these trades back and forth. We'll see if Shu can do something here. Teapot back to the ledge, gets back up, and now Shu still laying down the pressure. The forwarder connects, but tries to get the cross-stage Buster Wolf, not going to connect.
Teapot at that go meter, gets hit against the side of the stage, can't recover, and Shu has been masterful EE as far as extinguishing the flames of the go.
Not at all hesitating when those opportunities are presenting themselves. That's the thing against a Shoto character. You cannot let opportunities slip through your fingers, and Shu, I think she recognizes that, understands, okay, that first game really got away from me. I can't let that be the case again, but 1-2, there it is.
Teapot, excellent comeback here to make it an interesting situation on the final stock. 61% to 0. Shu has the advantage, but for Teapot, you're inching closer to that go meter. Teapot with the win would advance to winner's final. Shu trying to push it to a 3rd game. So far, we're seeing a little bit more patience from Shu, it seems like, Charles.
Yeah, doesn't want to really give Terry this opportunity. Terry can pretty much combo into anything in the set here, but the neutral, the burning knuckle.
Not enough, though. Not enough.
Wow, that combo string almost got the KO so early. Man, I don't know. Now Shu has offstage. Maybe he can get the edge guard, the down air to end everything.
Oh, Shu using the soul of one to send Terry down to the depths. And Shu picking up game 2 that sets up a game 3. And that was thrilling back and forth. Some risky plays off stage, but Shu was very confident about their positioning here, Charles. That down air is going to close things out if I can.
Yeah, and I even mentioned earlier before that Teapot was going for a lot of these low recoveries and using that intangibility if you charge that rising tackle, right? But if you get to Terry before the rising tackle comes up and you get the double jump while you're trying to set that up, Shu doing exactly that with the down air. Incredible call out to extend this set to the final game.
Let's get set for some Pokemon Stadium 2 action, and there was no hesitation from both fighters to get back into this 3rd game. And what do you make of this stage counter pick here, EE?
Well, I would say that, you know, going Stadium here, I actually like it because it's not a tri-plat, it's not a stage without platforms. You have your 2 right on each side. Easy to really play around, and something I think ZSS would much prefer in a situation like this. But I'm going to be honest with you, that last game, that final KO showed me that Shu, desperation mode has set in, because she did not want to see Terry back on stage for another neutral exchange, and maybe you can see just why, because at the moment, Teapot in firm control, throwing out those power waves, keeps some distance between them.
Yeah, it's built a sizable lead, and now it's just a matter of Shu trying to practice that patience from before, but it's Teapot that has much more real estate to work with here, Charles.
Yeah, and Teapot doing a really great job of spacing out these power dunks. If you space them out at the right height, you actually auto-cancel them, so you can go ahead and go right in the shield, or we've seen Teapot going for the more aggressive option, falling out of the rising tackle, though. That would have got the stock.
Yep.
Yeah, very surprising miss there. Had the setup, wasn't able to close the drill though. Gets hit with the stun. Now just trying to find a little bit of an opportunity. But here's the dangerous thing here, EE. You're about to go while Shu is at 137.
Yes, indeed, and that could be tremendous. And there it is. Okay, if we can recover solidly, it can be anybody's game. I love the fact going for the boost kick. Just, again, making those risky plays off stage to try and get the KO, but it does not pay off. And now you have a very angry Terry and some go meter to accompany this.
Yeah, and this is where Teapot has to make it count here, Charles. If you want to create some distance in this game, you've got to connect on some solid hits with this go while you're up 1 stock.
trying to take not as much damage as possible, but any jab or nair connecting going to go right into these go meter moves, but not going to fully connect, falling out of that second hit of the Buster Wolf. That's a huge break here for Shu, but still taking 57%.
Shu now just trying to find any opening to get this KO and try and just cool down Terry. And if you're Teapot, how aggressive are you looking to be here, EE?
If you're Teapot, it's just like at this point, throw caution to the wind. 134, you've already put on the triple digits onto Shu on her second stock. Oh my good, well, take it down to the final one. Teapot, short and stout, showing you what he's all about. Come on now.
Teapot, 134. Go meters going. You've got another connection here on Shu, trying to take down one of the Titans in the Southwest. Can Teapot close it out? Shu has got to find a KO however they can, Charles.
Yeah, I mean, and Buster Wolf after Buster Wolf connecting here, doing so much damage. The go meter still online, 150%. The other Buster Wolf does not connect here, but this could be another Buster Wolf for 104. The damage just keeps rolling in, Jordan.
We might have the biggest upset of the day coming through right now. Teapot is steaming. Yes, it is served. Unbelievable. 3-0 in game 3. Teapot takes down Shu. That's the favorite. And now all of a sudden it gets interesting here, EE. That go meter, I'm telling you, being able to execute the way that they did. Second time we've seen here today, 3 stocks on the same go meter.
Go meter is so deceptive because it comes at such a later point in the stock, right? When you're in those triple digits. So you're thinking, okay, yeah, it'll be a threat momentarily and I'll be able to clear it out. It's not as easy as it seems because you see when Terry gets to that point, everything links to another hit and those hits do so much damage. And before you know it, you're just getting tossed off. Those KOs are coming in abundance and you really just can't slow down the momentum that Terry does gain. That is why that character can be just so devastating. Teapot did an excellent job displaying that.
Let's check out the bracket. Wow. Teapot shocking the Southwest, the victory over Shu, and that sets up our winners final. Lisa with Joker and Teapot with Terry, a DLC duel that we're getting set for to find out who will go to grand finals. You look at this on paper here, Joker versus Terry. Charles, any initial thoughts on this type of matchup?
I mean, it's going to be the same kind of weaknesses Terry had for that Shu matchup, right? The Zero Suit. I mean, Joker, another character that can go off stage when you have the guns off stage, especially when you point the guns down off stage. Very, very strong. Joker has extremely good back airs as well off stage, and you have the counter. All things that really difficult for Terry to fight, but Teapot found a way to get on the stage against Shu. I'm pretty sure Teapot can do the same thing versus Lisa.
It's going to be exciting, this matchup between Go Meter, Arsene.
Yep.
How does either player utilize that, the timing of it, and so it'll be fascinating as we get set. But Lisa and Teapot for a spot in the grand finals as we get set, ready to roll. It was Teapot that utilized some unbelievable comebacks against Shu in their previous set, but here we are as we get set early on. Both fighters, middle of the stage, EE just trying to establish dominance.
And yeah, and where Lisa, at a couple points, was able to maybe get away with not necessarily capitalizing on the use of Arsene against Fire, that is not something you can afford against Teapot, especially if Teapot has Go Meter online. Utilizing everything, all those tools Joker has in the arsenal is imperative to getting this W.
Teapot snapping back up onto stage, down throw followed up by a couple of hits, and already a nice little combo coming out here from Lisa, but so far it's pretty even, Charles.
And Teapot doing a great job utilizing all the different specials, and we're even seeing the power wave stall, of course the jab power dunk. Very iconic combo here for Terry in Ultimate. Does a ton of damage, can get the KO, but great DI away and great parry as well. Teapot's defense and recovery has been phenomenal.
Yeah, Teapot surviving this Arsene moment for a while, trying to send Joker and their boy off the stage. And with no Arsene, how is Lisa going to recover at this point? Because Teapot in full control, EE.
Yeah, it really is just absolutely, really just hammering in a lot of these big-time hits. I see Lisa on the offensive, but what I need to see is KOs coming in from Lisa. Those back airs, very powerful, but Jordan at the same time can be a little predictable if you keep doing them in the same succession. Rising tackle, that is going to certainly be enough, and the Go Meter will accompany.
As I said, it was go time, like you pointed out. And so now Teapot, what can you do here with a one-stock advantage? As we saw before in that matchup against Shu, this is where you created some separation. Can Lisa outrun Terry at this point? So far has done a nice job, Charles, of avoiding a lot of contact.
And again, this is where Teapot really shines, because if you can hold on to this go meter, that's when Teapot really cashes out in terms of damage. And again, these power dunks very well spaced. What's the recovery? Goes for the power dunk, saves the double jump, gets back on the stage, and Arsene making his debut, kind of stalling out and not really helping Lisa there on that edge guard.
So you've got the go versus the Arsene. This is exactly what we talked about, EE.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see it make it count. Second time we're seeing Arsene, and finally going to have an impact. I love that. Use the counter, because it's going to be able to kind of catch the rising part of that recovery, which is really good. A lot of coverage on that, and Lisa knowing that spectacular usage.
Oh, yeah,
Excellent
one of the best
read.
counters in the game.
Yeah, I was about to say, because you saw that up B coming in for the recovery, you knew you were going to take a quick little hit from that counter, and so now it's up to Teapot trying to dunk Lisa off the stage. Can't get it right there. Saw the power wave off the side of the stage. How about the reversal, Charles?
Man, these power wave stalls off stage. Now, if you're tearing, you use power wave in the air, you go ahead and stall a little bit and throw that projectile. And I just love the creative usage coming out from Teapot, both offense and defensively. Saw the stage spike from the fair. Man, Teapot is really taking this character to the limit.
Obviously, Arsene out at this point, but that's not going to slow down Teapot. Teapot trying to step on the gas as much as they can, but so far we're seeing a better use of Arsene here. Doesn't yield a KO, though, EE.
Yeah, it certainly did not, unfortunately, for Lisa. And this is big, nice. Go high. Great recovery. These routes that Teapot is electing to take are so good. And then maybe the scariest thing on this screen that we continue to see is that go meter being online. And I'm afraid, Lisa, you're offline. See ya.
Teapot, go meter. Say no more as Teapot picks up game 1 and getting that much closer to grand finals. And as we said, who was going to use their mechanic to the best here, Charles? And, you know, both players did a decent job, but at the end of the day, that go meter is just out there so much more consistently. It doesn't really have that finite timer on it like Arsene does.
Right, you get it a bit later, but the thing is, you are rewarded if you have incredible defense, because like you said, Jordan, there is no timer. As long as you're 100 plus, you're good to go. And because of that, we see Teapot hold onto these stocks for so long. Terry has a lot of weight in terms of just being heavy compared to the rest of the roster. So if you can't get the edge guard, Terry's going to stick around for quite a bit of time.
And here's the interesting thing, EE. The counter pick on the stage is Yoshi's story. That is where Teapot lost game 2 as well.
That's fair.
Here comes Teapot right now at the disadvantage. It has been Lisa that's taken the early lead in this first stock.
I would say, though, I do like Terry on this stage just, again, because of the smaller blast zones that can be very, very effective, especially when Go Meter is present. Here comes Go Meter right now. Now, obviously, Teapot, a lot of work to do right now, but we've seen Teapot come back from disadvantage and fight, you know, kind of from underneath. This is not any unfamiliar territory, but finally, the combo game of Lisa seems to start to click right now. I'm seeing a lot of good hits.
Go Meter on hold right now at the moment for Teapot, just trying to make good use of it, but can't find that opening. Like you said, has not been able to get to the middle of the stage and establish dominance. However, gets a big connection there. Here comes Arsene, though. It's a battle of each character's factor here. Who's going to get it? Teapot, not enough. Arsene certainly helping out, keeping Lisa alive there.
No doubt about that, but for how long? Okay, nice. The back air going to clear out that stock and clear out the Go Meter, so that is tremendous. Now, can we use these final embers of Arsene to really do some damage? Absolutely. 31 tacked on with no problem. This is what I want to see out of Lisa. Utilize everything that Arsene does grant you. Playing pretty fearless right now, Jordan, and it's working out nicely.
Yeah, that was the turning point of the match there. Just able to use Arsene to get the KO, rack up nearly 60% of damage, and it's going to be a matter of Teapot able to get Lisa off the top of the screen, and so now it makes it on their second stock. However, you've got the disadvantage. You're down 77.9 to 0. Teapot trying to drop down, but as you pointed out, the combos coming out from Lisa just connecting at a much more consistent rate.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm seeing Lisa play so much more fluid at the moment, but I tell you what, it couldn't come at a better time. Love that drifting down to get that back air. Such a potent and powerful edge guarding tool, and Lisa finding the perfect opportunity to execute on that. And now Teapot, a lot of room to work if he wants to avoid this game number 3.
Teapot unable to do anything with that Go Meter, and you have to credit Lisa for snuffing out those flames in this second game. Lisa in full control, about halfway to Arsene. Teapot really at a disadvantage up on those higher plats against Lisa as well. Can't really drop down and find any type of safe footing.
Not at all. It's kind of funny though. We did see Teapot almost in a similar situation against Shu in that winner's semis round, but I don't know. It seems like Lisa far more engaged, and of course Arsene just such a bully at times, trying to utilize that. Love it, coming over the top with the back air, searching for another one, just relentless on the attack, determined to make this Arsene meter count, despite Go meter posing a threat with Terry.
Can Arsene get the KO? Yes, they do, and Lisa evens it up at 1 game each as we get set for game 3. And I don't know if it was the stage or if it was the adjustment in play style. You saw a much more aggressive and a much more consistent Lisa in that game too.
It was 100% the fact that those combo routes were finally clicking and connecting for Lisa. Now, maybe Yoshi's was a catalyst to that, so we'll be interested to see if that kind of consistency continues in game number 3. But I'm telling you, if Lisa can summons up that kind of performance again, could be booking a trip in the grand finals.
And that'll be interesting what the counterpick will be coming out this time around from Teapot. Do you go to a stage that's got a little bit more space, fewer plats, give yourself some more room to work around? We saw that when they had the counterpick in their previous matchup against Shu. And here you go. Thoughts on this one?
Well, you know what? I actually kind of I like this for both characters, because again, you're going to see that middle platform really be utilized on both ends. I think it's going to benefit probably Terry a little bit more if we're looking for a little bit of safe haven, but time will tell on that one. I'm really looking for Teapot to get an early jump here on the percentage lead. That is something that he was not able to utilize in the previous match and ended up costing him a lot. So here's Arsene, but Arsene,
that is big time for Teapot.
What are you doing down there, Arsene? What are you doing down there? We need you up top, all right?
Wings are meant to fly, not sink. And now all of a sudden it's a 3-2 stock lead, just 19% racked up so far for Teapot. That is how you start a game 3.
It really is, Jordan. And you know, it's something to be said when you drop a stock within the first 30 seconds. That can definitely take the wind out of your sails, or in this case, the feathers off those wings of Arsene. And he was certainly not doing any flying to survive on that first stock. But look at this, man. It's not even a matter of the go meter being involved right now, by the way. Terry's at 36% and has firmly lapped you in stocks and percent. This is a bad look for Lisa right now.
And how about Teapot and just the consistent recovery we've seen game after game? It's a very technical recovery as well, too. So many pieces have to come together to get back on the stage.
Yeah, I mean, I got to credit Teapot a lot. Great composure here in a great position. Dash attack from Arsene. Gonna force Terry to go a little bit higher than that. Ooh, maybe overreaching a little bit, dropping that shield. Gonna allow that back air to connect. Arsene back air, one of the strongest finishers in the game for sure. And now Lisa maybe seeing a little bit of light at the end of this dark tunnel.
Yeah, you would have loved if Teapot could have stalled out Arsene just a little bit more with that stock advantage. And now, all of a sudden, Arsene, Lisa, they've racked up 71% on the second stock. Will this be enough? Yes, it will, to take off the second one. Now it's down to the final stock for Lisa. Teapot trying to get their way into grand finals. Get back on the stage with that up B, so important as far as their recovery. Down throw can't follow up with it, though.
And I actually love that, too. Waited out the Rebels guard so he wouldn't get any additional Arsene meter as well. That was very smart from Teapot. Arsene going to make her appearance nonetheless, but you're seeing not having that great impact just yet. The counter right there, but not as effective when Terry is not recovering.
Go meter out for Teapot. Can they close it out? That doesn't get it. Misses with the down B. Connects right here. Will this be enough? Yes! Sends Lisa and Arsene sailing, and Teapot heads into grand finals. One of the surprises as far as what we saw in that first game against Shu. However, Teapot, Terry, go meter, that is a winning formula that we have seen game after game so far in this short part of the tournament.
Winning formula for sure. Losing formula way too aggressive with those counter attempts. Lisa, I understand Arsene counter, a Joker Arsene counter, very powerful, but you have Arsene in general, should be going for some combinations, should be going for some ledge traps, get him off stage, take advantage of that recovery, make some good predictions, and that is where you could have had your bread and butter. Unfortunately, though, was not meant to be. And Teapot, the surprise of this bracket so far, Jordan, books a trip to grand finals.
Well, let's check out the most recent bracket as Teapot takes down Shu, takes down Lisa. Now in the grand finals, we'll await the traffic in the loser's side of the bracket, but a lot of excitement over the last 3 sets that we saw. And for more on some of that excitement, we go ahead and send it over to Charles, who is standing by on the telestrator. Charles, pretty exciting winner's side of the bracket that we saw so far.
Oh, absolutely. So many upsets and so many different plays. And of course, I'm going to bring up Teapot versus Shu. This is game 2 of the set. Here I'm going to play Teapot almost stealing this game away just from getting a really, really early KO, but almost gets it. Shu barely survives and comes back with an edge guard. We'll see this beautiful combo here from Teapot as we play this clip forward. Trying to recover high here. Great catch with the crack shoot, just going right to the ledge, getting that neutral into the burning knuckle. And of course, the stage is so small. You actually think that Shu is going to lose the stock here, but Shu able to persevere and get back onto the stage to try and set up this edge guard. And once Shu gets this combo string, Shu is very afraid of the go meter. So goes for a really all-in edge guard. It's pretty much as all-in as you can get because Shu goes ahead and ends this edge guard with the down air, which is pretty much going to be able to end the stock. We can go ahead and pause it here and just rewind it a little bit back here. So as we can see, Terry wants to set up in this lower area for the recovery, right? Because Terry, throughout this entire set, we saw Teapot going low, setting up the charge on the rising tackle. When you charge and you hold down before you go into the up special for the rising tackle, you get some intangibility to go ahead and get to the ledge very safely, and you're invincible the whole time, which is going to protect you from these hitboxes. Shu has adapted this entire time and knows that if you go ahead and strike Terry before the charge happens, you can avoid all of that. The only way you can do that, though, is going for the down air, and if this misses, well, no surprise, Zero Suit is going to lose the stock first, but Shu executing very well here, getting this set into the game 3. Go ahead and finish off the clip here. Beautiful down air to end everything. Does not give enough time for Teapot to go ahead and go into that up B. So very well played coming out from Shu there. Fantastic tournament so far. We've had so many upsets, so many great smash. We're going to take a quick break, so stay tuned.
I'd like to welcome you all to the Nintendo World Championships.
Electric crowd here. The batteries are charged.
Before I walked out onto stage, I was incredibly nervous. It was my first time in that sort of environment.
The audience was insane. We're wild.
I'm having the best time of my life here.
There were lasers everywhere, the music was blasting, and you're on stage and everybody's cheering and everybody's... I mean, my mom's the loudest person in the audience, right? You can hear her over everybody else.
I'm excited to go on stage, I'm excited to play, and I'm going to do the best I can.
Some unbelievable performances that we saw in this first round.
Am I going to walk out of here the best of the best? Or am I just going to be another average gamer?
It was a lot of emotions at once that me as a 12-year-old was kind of thrown into. Like, this is really like the top level.
Those moments are what this championship was made for.
There was a few people who I felt like were very gifted at games. It just happened to be my day.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a new Nintendo World Champion.
After the competition, I was definitely feeling in my head, I can do better. I can come back. I can have some sort of redemption arc. In my living room? Really?
Bring the excitement into your own home with the Nintendo World Championships NES Edition game. Challenges include racing to grab the Super Mushroom, defeating the Octoroks as fast as you can, reaching the gate as quickly as possible, and so many more. Take on over 150 challenges from across 13 different NES games. Aim for the best time in speedrun mode. Compete for the top spot in the World Championships weekly global online leaderboards. Or take the competition to the couch with up to 8 players in party mode. Nintendo World Championships NES Edition launches July 18th on Nintendo eShop. Nintendo World Championships NES Edition Deluxe Set will also be available, containing a gold-colored replica cartridge, 13 art cards, 5 pins, and a physical game card. Pre-orders are available now on Nintendo eShop.
Hey, what are y'all playing?
Who's that guy?
This takes me back.
Our tale begins in a far-off land where Mario gets mugged. Is that right? On his grand adventure to recover the crystal stars, Mario is cursed to fold into a paper plane. What? Then faces a dragon with a froggy phobia? He's getting into epic scraps, saving transforming townsfolk, and battling wacky wrestlers in Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door. Available now.
And welcome back to the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Championship 2024 qualifier. Jordan Kent alongside EE and Charles. We've blazed our way through the winner's side of the bracket for the Southwest, and now it's time to navigate the loser's side of the bracket to see who will match up against Teapot in the grand finals. Let's go ahead and throw that bracket on the screen for everyone. It was Teapot, an upset over Shu in winner's semifinals, and then taking care of business against Lisa, a thrilling 2-1 victory. And now it's going to be Fire versus Shu. Fire with Fox, Shu with Zero Suit Samus, Charles, high technical characters flying all over the screen. Being able to rack up those hits and those combos, like you said before, is going to be huge.
Oh, yeah, and this matchup can be a little rough for Zero Suit. Fox just does so much damage and can abuse the fact that Zero Suit is so light. So a lot of these KOs are going to come early here for Fox, but we'll see if Zero Suit can really make Fox pay off stage. We've seen Shu do that to Teapot, but still was upsetted and got put into this loser's bracket.
And EE, you said Shu was the heavy favorite coming into this one, and now has to go all the way through loser's bracket and then we'll have to do a reset in grand finals. Shu, she is trying to get ready to go the distance.
Well, you know, I mean, I still stand by the fact that I think Shu is favored to win, but you know what? What's the championship without a little adversity on the way there, Jordan? Like an opportunity to maybe make this run through 2 losers matches and then get a reset in grand finals could be a really fantastic day. But either way, Teapot is waiting and lurking for the winner. And it's not a guarantee either that Shu comes out of this. I mean, Fire has shown a great acumen in Smash as well. So, and as Charles said, Fox is not an easy task to overcome. But I suppose when you're willing to take some risks off stage, it can make things a little bit easier.
And it really has been Shu with the early advantage here, Charles, and just that recovery, dominating middle of the stage. But here comes Fire trying to creep back into this. Has to be very mindful about how they approach because Shu right now is shutting down all the entry points.
Ooh, the second hit of the forward air not connecting. Oh, do you have the double jump? Shu, very crafty recovery going up and over that Firefox. Don't want to get hit, but if one neutral connects here for Fire, that could lead into that powerful up smash for Fox. See if Shu can get some kind of connection. The dash attack not going to connect here. Shu taking some risks to try and get this stock.
Yeah, shield game on point there for a moment. However, can follow up after the one hit. You see the percentages. Any solid connection at this point could be enough to take that first stock of the game, nearly a minute and a half into it. Oh, and there's the string that leads to the first KO, EE.
Finally able to get the KO off of the burial. Well done to Shu. Now 95%, nothing modest right there. And of course, with that hard-hitting power of Fox, you don't want to allow yourself to get clipped up too easily. Another one of those up airs could very well do it. If I'm Shu, I'm thinking, okay, let me get some additional damage as fast as possible. Love the follow-up from the Zaire. Great combinations. This is what ZSS can really do. Accumulate tons of damage and smart to just boost kick out of that situation with Fox falling above her.
Yeah, and Charles, probably the best segment we've seen from Shu so far in this set.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Also being able to rack up so much damage. Another forward tilt able to set up with the illusion coming through. Another down air, and Shu's doing an incredible job. Gets the setup. That's the burn of the double jump. That should be the trade, but the wall is coming in from Yoshi, but it doesn't matter because the plasma whip already set up here for Shu.
Shu, 3-1 lead. How about that? What we saw in that second stock has already taken full control of this set. And now it's just a matter of what can you do to give yourself that advantage. At 154, still hanging alive here, EE.
Yeah, feel like
not anymore.
Up until that point, of course, Jordan. But felt like it took Shu maybe a whole stock to really kind of settle in to what kind of offense we really want to throw out here. And I'm just seeing a lot of rush down, go in, full throttle combinations, which are really paying off. And I think, honestly, too, this stage does benefit ZSS. I think ZSS loves those tri-plats, and that's something that's, you know, just a little bit of an additional game changer, as my man Fire is really struggling to get anything going.
Really just recovering here, Charles, but then can't establish anything when they get back on stage.
Yeah, and I love how Shu doesn't necessarily have to go for the stock every time off stage, like E kind of talked about with against Fox. When you go for these edge guards, you can just get some damage as well. If you get some damage every single time, that is going to add up and be in your favor here. And Shu feels like kind of cranking up the movement, and just like that, the down smash does connect, goes right into the flip kick. And I feel like as every stock went forward, Shu was moving faster and faster.
That was filthy, EE.
That was
filthy. Yes, yes. But well displayed there. So now we're starting to see how dangerous Shu can be, and really what they're able to do on that very first stock, getting all the way up to 154, knocking off 2 of the stocks of Fire. And I think Charles pointed out well, shifted to more of a rush down mentality and started to be a lot more aggressive.
It's such a net positive too, because there's so many things that ZSS can do that can maybe leave you, you know, kind of hanging out there, you know, showing a little bit of opening right there. Fox can definitely capitalize, but the benefits you get off it tend to be so much. It's such a good risk worth reward situation, and Shu does a great job putting herself in a position to succeed.
Now, where's the adjustment come for Fire and Fox, Charles? Because as EE pointed out, those tri-plats, the smaller stage of Yoshi's story, probably benefited ZSS quite a bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. It looks like we're going to smash here for Fire, and I think really getting these early stocks is going to be a huge game changer here for Fire. You really need to hit Zero Suit with neutral at around, you know, 70 to 80% depending on how much rage you have, and just blow the stock up with the Nair into the up smash, or really get these tech chases, because Zero Suit is that fastball. You're going to be more susceptible to those tech chase scenarios.
Right now, it's Shu and Zero Suit chasing Fire off the stage at this point. Oh, but the trade, however, not quite able to get back onto the stage, EE.
You know what? That's just being a little too overzealous. The Fairs were really connecting and just forcing Fire further and further away from the stage. Just want to finish off with the back air, but went a little bit too low. But nonetheless, you are setting the tone and the tempo yet again, putting Fire on notice that, hey, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get that stock, so you better be willing to match me the same way.
And able to get the tether grab for a moment, and the back throw gets back onto the stage. And so far, that's the difference. It feels like Shu is able to recover and then establish an offensive position here, Charles, versus Fire that recovers and then gets chased down once again.
Yeah, and that's really just utilizing the move that is so strong on Zero Suit's arsenal. It's going to be that flip jump that you can go into the kick as well. Gives Shu a lot of opportunities to go for an offensive move and then position themselves back to the center of the stage, so Shu's able to take a lot of risk, and it's not really going to bite back as much.
Now, hold up. Fire really has gotten back into this on this second stock, trying to even things out here. But again, a connected in the air and just Fire trying to get back onto the stage and being chased down. But now we're seeing a change in tone here. Fire is the one pursuing Zero Suit.
I think Fire's understanding, okay, I cannot just let Shu dictate the pace and be the one leading the offensive charge. Oh, but gets caught up right there. That plasma gun is such a perfect setup. Fox being a fast faller really opens those combo doors and follow-ups for ZSS to hit that much more consistently, Jordan, and you're seeing just reaping the rewards of that right now.
Is it enough to take the second stock? No, so an opportunity for Shu to kind of build up more extra damage heading into that final stock. And this is where, if you're Fire, I imagine, Charles, you've got to be very careful about taking any extra hits.
Yeah, it's going to be so important. Both these characters, the glass cannon type, if you will, very light but very powerful. Okay, there's the two up airs into the forward air, and already Shu racking up a good amount of damage. Connects another down smash, but the flip jump kick not going to connect, but a couple of up airs and so much damage still accumulating on the side of Shu.
Shu, with this victory, will advance to losers finals. Fire just trying to keep their tournament hopes alive and well, and they will not. Congratulations to Shu as they move on, and that is a clean 2-0 and looking like the part of a dominant force here in the Southwest, EE.
I think Shu knows exactly where her target lies, and it's in grand finals with Teapot. 1 down, 1 to go to get that rematch. I'm sure she's eager to fight, but do not sleep on Lisa's Joker. Has had those moments of brilliance that I think are definitely enough to earn her a spot in grand finals as well. Back and forth action is sure to come. Good effort by Fire, but again, I really think it was the difference in just Shu dictating the pace and the offense just flowing smoothly.
All right, let's check out the updated bracket as we make our way to losers finals, which is going to face off against Lisa and Shu. So we've had all unique matchups across the board. That's always fun. And so you're going to have Joker taking on Zero Suit Samus. And early thoughts on this one, Charles, as far as how these characters match up against one another?
Yeah, again, I mean, Joker just going to have very good air-to-air with that back air, with that neutral air, and of course you have the firepower of the Arsene. We'll see if Shu can set up some offstage scenarios here against the Arsene, especially during the up B. That is when you can, Joker's a little bit more susceptible when grabbing that ledge, and we've seen that down smash, right, do so much for Shu. So maybe Shu can line up some kind of combo into that for, some kind of lead and really snowball into her favor.
Yeah, and it really felt like Shu is playing their best EE when she is hunting down the opponent, not necessarily waiting for mistakes, but being the one that's dictating the tempo. How do you do that against Joker when you know you've got Arsene, you've got counters that come out? There's a lot more things you have to be aware of.
Well, that's the thing. So the Rebels guard counter can be mitigated by just grabbing, right? ZSS can obviously get that grab in there. The Arsene, though, you have to think, okay, Arsene just builds that meter off throughout the battle. I just got to make sure I'm ahead the majority of the time. If you can kind of position Joker in a situation where it's just like, okay, yeah, Arsene's coming through, but it's in a situation where you have to recover to the stage, I think that could really benefit Shu, because I think Shu's edge guarding has been top-notch thus far throughout the bracket.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, we saw that against Fire here, Charles. Fire never was really able to recover on stage and then try to reestablish neutral. Just stayed in disadvantage, and that's a credit to all the different ways that we were seeing Shu read those recovery options.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think Shu really dialed in terms of the fair usage as well. We saw a lot of times in game number 1, Fox falling out of the forward air, maybe doing the forward air a little too late on the come up of the jump. But we saw Shu kind of doing these fairs a little bit earlier just to get that second hit in, because that's the main one we want to see, and that's the one that ended that game number 2. So Shu really dialing in, really adjusting where these forward airs are going off stage, and they've really been hitting the mark.
And Arsene is going to be the X factor in this EE.
Yep.
How do you best utilize Arsene against someone like Zero Suit Samus that will try to chase you down, that will try to be the aggressor, even though you're going to be having this momentary meter?
Well, I think, you know, if I'm in a situation from Lisa, I'm thinking, okay, percentage windows. Okay, what are going to be my guaranteed combos? Okay, what can I best utilize Arsene for to maximize damage? And of course, too, if I am in a situation where I have Arsene out and Shu has to recover, okay, do I want to throw out a projectile or do I just want to go down there? You could maybe consider going for the counter. We saw Lisa not scared to throw out that counter for sure. And if you catch ZSS boost kicking up and you have that counter, you can just send her out and she's not coming back. Or maybe you can just line up a back air very timely. There's a lot of good options you can do on the offensive end and defensive end. Just comes down to making the right call in the right moments.
As we said before, this is the Southwest region. We saw a winner for the Southeast region. And don't forget, for those of you that are in the Northeast and the Northwest checking out the action right now, it's still not too late to be a part of those tournaments. Make sure you go visit battlefy.com/Super Smash Bros. 2024. You'll have an opportunity to get a chance to be invited to the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Championship 2024 taking place August 25th. Up until then, though, we've got this losers finals matchup. That's going to be between Lisa and Shu, Joker, and Zero Suit Samus as we set the stage. If we do have that bracket, let's go ahead and throw that up one more time if possible, just because what you want to see is the upset of the day so far. That was Teapot 2-1 over Shu, and then Teapot also taking down Lisa. So either one of our winners from the losers final will get a chance at some retribution. But here it is, Zero Suit Samus and Joker, Lisa and Shu, who will move on to grand finals. The journey begins now.
All right, let's get right into it. Hollow Bastion is setting the stage right here for game number 1. Big fan of the stage, honestly, for both players. I think Joker might benefit a little bit more, so that's going to be really good for Lisa, who does come in a little bit, like I said, on the as the underdog, but that does not have to dictate how things are going to be settled at the end of the day. Joker being an incredibly potent and powerful character, but you cannot allow yourself to be getting bullied so hard on the opening rounds, and gets that barrel right there. Oh, I love that. Just when you can pop Joker up like that, you're really setting yourself up for even more follow-up. Shu, so intelligent with this offense right now, Jordan.
Yeah, the Shu certainly fits early on, just racking up 131. Arsene not able to do anything at this point, and Shu is on a mission, Charles. How about that clean KO in the first stock?
Wow, that was such a great sequence coming out from Shu. Again, lining up these forward airs exactly how she needs to, and just really controlling the pacing. And I think Shu kind of realizing, hey, if I can really up the pace against some of these players and I can really let my experience shine through, can really, really take it so far here, Jordan.
And to your point, Lisa just does not look comfortable at all. Finally able to connect with Arsene, but this is on the second stock. Now able to string together a few more hits. Here we go, flirting with the KO. EE, this is where if you are Lisa, you've got to get a KO at this point. Can't take on any more damage here on the second stop.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, and the problem is we've seen Arsene a couple times, and Arsene at best, Jordan, has been a bystander, okay? Just standing an eyewitness, not doing anything. I mean, you got to get involved in the battle if you want to get this W. That's something that Shu understands, but the pressure that she has continued to pile on has easily been the difference maker, and this gun action right now on the right side of the stage still not resulting in anything as Shu reverses the fortune and gets positional advantage.
Now Shu, once again, perfect read on the recovery. That's what Shu's been doing, trying to tie this first game up here, Charles.
And I feel like Shu is just kind of ramping up, powering up through this losers bracket, at least for this game number 1 right now. Still rocking 3 stocks in the tank. Arsene or not, doesn't feel like Lisa can get any kind of meaningful hit here. Able to get some chip damage here and there, but nothing to get this stock, and Shu really showing the mobility of Zero Suit Samus, both offense and defensively.
Lisa with Arsene unable to do much. Still a 3-1 stock advantage for Shu. Trying to make it a clean 3-0 victory. Looking for a couple of more opportunities. Lisa a long ways away from Arsene as to try and build up that meter. And now if you are Shu, you're just going to continue to be aggressive like you do right there. Not enough, though, EE.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That will be, though.
I was going to say that there
enough.
is definitely lubing, because at that point, what do you have to lose? Okay, I lose a stock when I have 3, or I turn you into a highlight reel, okay? I'm winning either way, okay? Definitely the right decisions from Shu. A dominating game 1 to open up losers finals. You love to see it.
Now the question is, how does Lisa bounce back from that? Charles,
what
what is the adjustment? Because you felt like this is a stage that, hey, we can go toe-to-toe, but apparently Shu is just in a different form here in this losers bracket.
And I think if you're Lisa, and whenever you're playing against a player that feels more experienced than you, that can kind of control the pace and especially up the pace on you where you can't feel, or it doesn't feel like you can keep up, you want to try to be able to slow down the pace, right? So I think for Lisa, if you're able to slow down the pace, or you could hit upgrade and go from Fighter Pass 1 to Fighter Pass 2. That also works.
All right, well, when it doesn't work with Joker, you go with another DLC character, and EE, thoughts here?
I mean, it's hard, right? Because, you know, you're coming in completely being outclassed in that first game, and then you're picking a character that we have yet to see you pick in this top 4. So, it's, you know, coming in a little bit cold. I'm going to say the first 30 seconds or so is really going to tell me all I need to know. Right now, though, I do like the combinations coming in from Mythra. Obviously, you know, we call her the neutral queen for good reason. She can really lend herself to those players with really good neutral, and you're seeing a lot of control right now. Switch to Pyra with an attempt to maybe get that stock off early, but shoot, not going to let it happen.
And as always, Charles, it's that going back and forth between Mythra and Pyra as far as do you want speed or do you want the power, and when you time that is what makes some of the best Mythra and Pyra players work out. However, it doesn't for that first stock.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is knowing which one to use for which situation. And usually, like E pointed out, Mythra, one of the best characters, if not the best character for a neutral game. And usually, your Mythra is always trying to set up your Pyra, right? You want to win neutral with Mythra and then set your opponent up off stage or on the ledge and really let Pyra's long, active hitboxes that are much stronger do the work after that.
And now it's the switch back, and Zero Suit Samus and Shu looking very comfortable still. 3-2 stock lead at 117, but already racking up that damage, and this has been the difference. Just doesn't KO in the recoveries he's in. Right now, it's all Shu with a clear path, just wants to walk into grand finals and making quick work of this loser's bracket.
Yeah, I almost feel like Lisa's fighting underwater because I cannot remember last time she had any time to breathe. I mean, Shu has been relentless from start to finish. Even right there was trying to maybe initiate another dare, but it didn't work out, nor did that recovery from Lisa. Back-to-back 3 stocks for Shu is going to power her in to grand finals, Jordan.
So now it sets up a rematch between Shu and Teapot. Teapot was very much on the ropes after a minute, but then with Terry and that go was able to come back. This is going to make it very exciting. Shu right now is playing better than anybody has played all day today over the last couple of sets here, Charles.
Yeah, and I feel like that last set was just a message to Teapot. Yeah. Look at this last set. I'm coming for you.
Well, we'll get you a chance to take a look at the updated bracket as we head to the grand finals of the Southwest. It was Zap in the Southeast earlier today. Who will join Zap as a grand finals victor today? Teapot and Shu. Keep in mind, Shu will have to reset the bracket if Shu wants to get the victory. Teapot and Terry, though, narrowly escaping with back-to-back 2-1 set victories. So, comes down to EE, how well do you navigate the go when you get it? And if you are Shu, can you quickly get that KO and not let go become a factor?
You know, I do look at when Shu matched up with Teapot, and it was the opening round, right? So there is something to be said with that. This Shu we are seeing play right now is clearly the combos are on point, okay? The confidence is there, and the momentum is right behind her. So I feel like with all that in mind, it's going to be for a different showing. You're not going to see a situation where Shu is up 3 stocks to 1 or even 3 stocks to 2 high percent and lets that go this time. I just don't see it happening. So from jump, I'm going to need Teapot to be on their P's and Q's.
All right,
to get this
Teapot
W.
with a chance has to pick up 2 games to win grand finals. Shu will have to win 4 games in these back-to-back best-of-3s potentially. And already you see the excellent parry coming out of Shield, Charles.
Yeah, and we'll see if I feel like Teapot did a really good job of being able to slow Shu down. I mean, that comes with Teapot being a very good player and just the character Terry, right? Whenever you're next to Terry, jab is such a huge threat that you really have to respect it if you're Shu. So we'll see if Teapot can slow Shu down, because Shu has been being really, really fast coming through this loser's bracket, right? The pacing is so quick.
And now we see some excellent spacing coming out by Shu here, EE. Not overcommitting too much after Teapot was kind of controlling the early part of this game.
Well, I think Shu probably realized, okay, yes, there's going to be opportunities to rush down, but I cannot make that my only form of offense, okay? I've got to be able to find where I can get these counter hits and these good strikes in as well. And off stage could definitely be an opportunity, but nice using the crack shoot to just cover some ground, get back on the stage. Stunned momentarily, but that go meter, Jordan, back online, and that can often lead to some destructive behavior.
And Teapot can't recover those, so they each lose a stock. More importantly, that's almost a win for Shu, Charles, because the go meter no longer there. Here we are, equal footing, but Teapot has racked up 40% already.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a huge W for Shu. Unfortunate that Shu was not able to tech the stage there. Once a knockback is so high, you're just not going to be able to tech the stage there. You can tell by that red splash on the stage. So great job coming out from Teapot, going for the trade at the very least, right? When you're in that dire situation, oh, you can go ahead, get the trade, but look at this already, 70%. Great DI on the side of Shu getting out of these power dunks.
And that's what we've seen from Teapot. Teapot not fazed by the speed of Shu and able to almost match those opportunities when Shu starts to commit a little bit more. Teapot quickly closes that gap, EE.
Yeah, I almost thought there might be a little bit of a struggle for Teapot given how much room is on Kalos, right? There's a lot of room for Shu to work with, but those opportunities to close the gaps and find those hits have come way more than few and far between. I'm loving it from Teapot, and yet again, Jordan, right on cue for the KO.
Charles, the precision and reads of those power dunks to time them perfectly, making it look much easier than it really is.
Oh yeah, you're spacing it very well too if you are Teapot. Just these power dunks, so when you land, you're able to go right into shield or into jab and just spacing them in the areas where it's like, okay, I think Shu's going to set up in the air here. Zero Suit is known for that air mobility, so Zero Suit usually wants to approach in the air with the Nair, with the Zair, right?
Trying to punish the cooldown is Teapot, doing a fine job of reading some of those stun opportunities that you see Shu going for. That go meter on lock. Shu's got to get the KO, and that was critical, EE.
That was actually huge, because if that Nair had come down, that could have been a huge opening of damage for Teapot. So Shu avoiding certain disaster and comes out on top with the stock, and now with a head full of steam. Oh, Shu, careful. Yes, utilize that wall jump to get back safely for sure. Anybody's game on this final stock for grand finals. It is definitely heating up.
Yeah, Shu nearly scuffed the Jays there, but able to get back on the stage. And now Shu with the advantage, really pushing Teapot off. And Shu feels like he's gotten a good rhythm here, Charles, of not getting too close. And all of a sudden, those hits that Teapot had on the first and second stock not coming quite as easily.
Yeah, the thing I'll tell Shu is beware of power dunk, because that has been the go-to option here for Teapot to really control the air-to-air. That's going to be such a big deal when you're dealing with Zero Suit. How do you air-to-air this character? Okay, but there's the double forward air off-stage situation going really low, but the kick jump is not going to come through. The go meter is online.
Go meter online. Shu trying to recover. Teapot, jab into the combo, misses it though. Shu able to get out of it. Teapot still pursuing hot. Teapot out of shield, just waiting for that opportunity, sitting at 101. That is dangerous on the final stock for both of them. One game would be huge, not enough though, EE.
Not quite there yet. Anybody's game for sure. That go meter continues to be such an impressive factor to keep in mind. The combinations you know Teapot looking for, maybe to end this out of nowhere. Got to be careful though, because Shu with the forward air, not scared to commit. Nobody home right there. The shield is up, but again, back and forth. Actually go.
No! The missed input sends it left. You're supposed to take a right at the stop sign, and now all of a sudden that leads to a huge set for Shu. And you just think about how far one initial set would have been for Teapot, and now you've got to win 2 in a row over Shu. A huge mistake there, and it just goes to show you that margin of error is so thin. And Charles, it just was one of those things that happens sometimes.
Yeah, especially with these fighting game characters. Sometimes you want to do a crack shoot to the right, but then you get a power dunk to the left, right? It's so many different directions here. So going to run it back to Kalos, and this is where it's going to be really, really hard. Like you said, Jordan, I mean, you got to win 2 in a row here versus Shu, and Shu has been heating up and definitely adapting, because that first game was so close. The last time these players played, it was a 3 stock in the favor of Teapot.
And keep it in mind, 2 in a row in which you know Shu will have a counter pick as far as the stage. That's what makes it difficult. You imagine you'll see Yoshi's story come out if Teapot gets this set. If you're Shu, you don't even want to give Teapot that opportunity. You want to reset it right here, but so far, it is all Teapot out the gate.
Well, I can tell you right now, Teapot definitely came into this a little frustrated at what happened in that previous game, because you'll notice there wasn't even 5 seconds between the end of the last match and the start of this one. Like,
smash that A button.
Run it back, run it back, run it back. Like, not even any considerations. And really, that rage may be aiding Teapot. It's a very sizable lead here in the percentage factor. Shu, though, trying to chip into that as best she can. Get up attack, though, going to keep Teapot safe on that platform. But Shu continuing to bring the offense back and close the gap.
Nice little sequence there by Shu to rack up some damage, still staying alive at 164. Teapot trying to find either that power dunk or that jab leading into the combo. Shu's well aware of that, bouncing around, trying to create some distance and some separation now. Some offstage antics. Doesn't equate into anything, but there comes the power dunk for the first KO, Charles.
Yeah, well-placed power dunk in the go meter. Now online, another forward air. Doesn't get the back air. Offstage situation, power dunk over the forward air. And you're still able to make it back to the ledge here. Amazing recovery, amazing defense coming out from Teapot. And the reward, you're back on stage and you got the go meter.
And it goes into good effect there. Able to get off stage and then planted for a moment. Rolling to the other side, misses on the second jab. Grabbed here by Shu, and Shu trying to close this out, get to that second stock as fast as possible, but Teapot still hanging in there.
Absolutely. Doesn't help either that second hit of the fair did not connect, but getting back to the stage with the aggressive recovery going to work out for Shu. This is a very, very clean match that we're seeing, and Teapot has really done a great job dictating the pace. Those power dunks, ruthless and relentless. Loving what I'm seeing right now, but Shu continues to keep fighting back.
Yeah, Teapot read the retreat very well, but Shu gets back on the stage. That recovery leading into the combos has really been their bread and butter. And right now, both fighters in neutral. Charles, you figure if you're Shu, you got to find those openings and start to rack up a little bit more damage.
Yeah, because every time Teapot gets an opening, makes it count, with or without the go meter, right? So we really got to see Shu get some of these edge guards, because Teapot, anytime we see a combo on stage, especially with the go meter, cashes out for at least 50 damage, if not more, if not the stock.
Teapot in control of this set, 2-1 with the stock advantage, racking up some marginal damage here in the final stock for Shu. And at this point here, just doing a fine job as a fighting game character, as a Shoto with that spacing, EE.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Absolutely great response to this. Is the kind of response you want to have after you lose the first game of Grand Finals, when you're sitting on the winner's side. It's like, okay, it's not going to be as easy as you think. And there it is.
Okay.
You know our favorite endings, the anticlimactic
ones. The mid-sentence KO to close out the set where you have no option to recover to it. Love it. Sets up a game 3, though, and that's something we certainly love. If you're Teapot, you look like you've been in control here, Charles, but the factor, there will be a stage counterpick here coming from Shu. Right. I imagine I would be shocked if it's not Yoshi's story.
Yeah, we've seen Shu kind of gravitate towards that Yoshi story. Definitely going to be really good for those down air lineups where you don't really have the option to ride the stage and really stationary, making your opponent go to that area, taking that exact route here. We'll see what the counter pick is. And, I mean, great adaptation coming out from Teapot, because you got to imagine Teapot had to have been frustrated, but it looks like we're going to town and city here. Got a lot of real estate to work with and some different platforms switching out about every 30 to 40 seconds.
I lean forward, EE, and place my fingers on my chin, wondering why they went with this decision here.
Yeah, this is definitely one that caught me off guard, but you know what? I think it could have something to do with not wanting to fight Terry in close quarters. You know what I mean? That could be... And I understand that too, because Terry is such a brawler, especially with that go meter being such a problem. Do you really want to fight Terry with go meter with enclosed blast zones? Maybe not. This might be the spacious difference in this matchup.
Charles, let me ask you this. The initial placement of those platforms, how does that impact the heavy power dunk usage we've been seeing from Terry?
I mean, with those high platforms, Terry can kind of retreat to them, and wow, the rising tackle going to take that first stock with the intangibility. Wow. Teapot's so on point. This is probably the most volatile platform layout, because a lot of characters have combo extensions horizontally to that blast zone. Just like that, now it looks like Teapot able to still recover, and wow, even with the platform, Shu couldn't set up anything there.
Wild. Go meter on point. Shu, if you can get a KO here, it negates everything that happened in that first stock. Don't forget, Teapot was sitting at 66 when they got the KO. Now, both fighters just trying to find some positioning here, E.
Yeah, 100%. And really, for Shu, needs to find that stock. Do not allow, we all remember what happened in their first meeting on the winner's side of things. Do not allow this to snowball out of control when that go meter is present. You know what he's looking for.
Just
and
like
Jordan,
that.
He's finding it. Big hits. And another
the
gate.
follow-up. Teapot is one stock away from claiming the Southwest title. Shu has got to do everything. Don't forget, a victory by Shu resets the bracket. We go to a fresh new set of 3. This is a huge moment right now. Teapot with that go meter at 121. Shu's got to get the KO here.
Yeah, you got to get the KO, and you got to get 2 more afterwards without losing a single stock. This is your counter pick, though. The down smash not going to connect. The power dunk on the shield, pretty safe, but the up B still not going to do it. Terry just so heavy.
Terry, though, however, will get KO'd, and now you're down a full stock. But we've seen Shu rack up some quick KOs. Now without that go meter, Teapot, you will be aggressive, I imagine, EE, but you can't afford to miss too many times.
Yeah, Teapot probably understands, like, look, I have such a substantial lead. I just need to play my game. Shu is the one who's kind of been the disadvantage because has to approach to really make up this deficit. And, of course, that stock difference that we're seeing as well. But scary, luckily for Shu, Terry without go meter, not quite as scary, but, nonetheless, extremely devastating.
Yeah, punishes the miss there, and now Teapot has got the center of the stage.
No
the
way.
power dunk comes through, and a fitting way to close out the Southwest region as Terry and Teapot shock the nation, knocking off one of the top threats in the country as Shu goes down. It was very competitive. It was very exciting, but Charles, Terry, and Teapot showing they are a formidable pair here.
Oh, yeah, Teapot really just showcasing that defense once again to really get rewarded on the offensive side. Terry, just one of those characters where if you can recover, if you can get back on stage, you have so many opportunities for this go meter. And again, the way Teapot was utilizing that power dunk in neutral, right? Just really controlling so much of the airspace, and it really forced Shu into really awkward scenarios where Shu had to go for these full hops into the down B, the flip jump, going up and over, and usually ZSS has way more control of that airspace, but I love how Teapot played that matchup.
Yeah, really the reads with the power dunks are what stood out to me. You've got these really hard reads you have to make against a very quick character, and that was impressive from Teapot and Terry throughout all of their matchups against Shu.
It really showed me, I've never gotten an opportunity to actually see Teapot play, but man, I don't think I'll ever forget after that, Jordan. Like, that was a sensational performance. Clearly a well-rounded player, mastery of their character, and no stranger to clearly fighting ZSS, because there was a lot of times where I was like, we're not falling for those baits of ZSS for the stun gun. We're not falling for any of those boost kick shenanigans. Great recoveries all around. That was a season-type performance from Teapot, and it results in a championship well-earned.
So to recap the action today from the Southeast, Zap was your winner, representing that region. For the Southwest, Teapot, hard-earned as well, too. Down 0-1, picks up 2 sets to close out that grand final, closes out the bracket there. They'll represent the Southwest as well. And don't forget, if you're living in the Northeast or the Northwest and you want to be a part of the action, we'll be right back here next week from Seattle, Washington, bringing you those top 4s. You can go to battlefy.com/Super Smash Bros. 2024 for registration information. Well, it was a lot of fun here with you today, gentlemen. We had a great time, and
always.
We saw a plethora of characters make their debuts, but we will get to the other 2 regions next week. Until then, keep it tuned in to Nintendo Versus for all of your competitive Nintendo action from all of us here in the Evergreen State. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next week.